Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
What the hell was that? I beg your pardon? I was supposed to be the Open, but it wasn't.
What did he say? I was watching Channel 10 because I thought we were going to do this thing.
You can do that thing.
What time is he on?
I don't know.
So we don't know what time we're on either because Duff was in here this morning going like that. And, we got this special agreement with Channel 10. We got this right. And carry the audio of this Zoe thing. And, it's so important that we better carry it, isn't it? Which ordinarily I would resist because I don't really give a crap. I wish him all the best. I don't wish him any bad health, but it's not important to me. No matter how significant Hank says it is, it's not significant to me. It's certainly not significant to George. So I'm watching Channel 10. I'm assuming that they're going to be on. And here's this Sally with a bunch of, how do I say it delicately?
Let's say it delicately.
Retards?
Okay.
Ex-girlfriend Amanda, who's backstage, is doing everything in her power to try and break.
Oh, this don't look like Zoe to me. What is this? If we're going to use Channel 10, I bet you Channel 7 is hyperventilating. Let's just take a look. Wouldn't that be embarrassing? Because I understand the rumor in the grapevine has it that Channel 7 was down there 4 or 5:30.
No, they don't have it.
They got nothing on either. Well, I think I was giving some bum goddamn information here today, you know it? Kind of threw us all off. Oh, no, Channel 10's going to be on top of this thing like stink on Greg is what, that's what Duff told me. That's what he said. I'm quoting verbatim. He said, going to be over it like stink on Greg. And I said, what do you mean by that? And he said, and by the way, Joe, I hate to break the news to you. Remember, it's 59, not 49. 59. And lay off the hair. Oh, and one of the great things that I heard on the news, besides losing my ass over the weekend, Xerox is denying reports circulating all over Europe that it's seeking a filing for bankruptcy protection. Oh, no, we've got $7 billion and yada, yada, all this other crap. Wouldn't that be great? Nice going, Rimmer. What do you got to say for yourself? Well, his brother-in-law said this, and some Arab sheik had a bad bowel movement. Otherwise, he was going to buy up 100 million shares of Xerox. See, I was originally going to go to Toronto. That is a true story. I had plane reservations to go to Toronto. We were going, and then I got on the phone, and there was some big convention in Toronto over the weekend. Every hotel, you couldn't get a hotel for love or money or hockey pucks. And then our good close friend Scott, what's his name there, Perlman, from Atlantic City Subs. Thank you, Scott. Good guy. Of course, that's not what Fat Boy says, but he's a good guy. He got me rooms at the MGM in Vegas, so how could I resist? Lost my ass. Lost my ass. In fact, I think one cheek is still there in Vegas. And as much as I've always loved Vegas, the last time I went, I was starting to get a little bit burned out. I thought, well, maybe a couple of years I'll come back. And I don't want to discourage anybody from going to Vegas because it is a fun place. But this was the one that put me over the edge. What is that man doing in this studio while the show is on the air? Oh, sure got rid of him real fast, didn't we? Turned around and walked out of there like he'd been shot with a goddamn cannonball in the nuts. Peter Leonard. Get him out of here. He's killing me, that man. He really is. He's a killer. And you know something? I wasn't even going to talk about it. Because I'm just strolling right now because I was given bum information. They said, oh, this is so important. I said, do we carry the heat on this station?
No.
No. Do we carry like any other than UM? Do we carry basketball on this station?
No.
No. But it's so important that we're going to, and we got this special agreement with Channel 10. Well, look, I'll tell you what, since we got a special agreement with Channel 10, why not put Sally Jesse on the air?
Pregnant.
Yeah, there you go. He's pregnant. Some freak on Sally Jesse, a guy who's pregnant. Well, I got a lot to tell you about Vegas and about the National Airlines is great.
Oh!
Let me just tell you right now, and it wasn't a freebie. I paid for it with my own hard-earned cash, if I have any left after that experience this weekend, and after Rimmer with his goddamn Xerox tips. But National Airlines is the best. Sensational. I've heard other people talk about it, and we've had calls on the show, and they've said exactly that. It's the best airline they've ever flown in their lives. And one trip doesn't make, two trips, going out and coming back, doesn't make a career for an airline. But that's the only way you can judge it based on your own personal experience. Forget about that America worst. Forget about going through Dallas on those very overpriced and expensive airlines, American and Delta, where they charge an arm and leg and it takes you 7 hours to get to Vegas. National, they arrive, they leave right on time, they get there early. Coming back, left right on time, get here 10 minutes early. They know how to board the flight. They got real planes, big 757s, first class, sensational. back there in coach, that's up to you peons. I don't know. But really good. But before we get to that, so I guess I'll just keep my eye peeled on here and see what's happening because it's so damn important.
Fox Sports Network, whatever used to be Sports Channel or something, somebody called to say that they're the ones carrying it.
Well, if they're the ones that are carrying it, how come our program director came in here and said, when you carry it, if you want to do this, put on Channel 10. We have an agreement with Channel 10 to carry their audio. And I said, we put on people's audio all the time. And he said, like that. Yeah, that's what he said. Get off the plane in Vegas. Who's standing there? At the gate, in the airport, at McCarran International Airport in Las Vegas. As we get off the plane, who's standing there? Defoe and the Pauly man. Rumor has it they were rooming together. Double bed. That's the rumor that I'm hearing. And I said to Defoe, I said, what are you doing here in the airport? He says, oh, I'm waiting for my wife. It's another one of those spats. I don't want to go into that thing about that marriage. Boy, you talk about a rocky road. Even the people at Baskin-Robbins never saw rocky road like that marriage. So evidently they didn't fly out there together, and in a fit of pique, he took the Pauly man with him. Which I'm sure that Defoe probably would rather spend a few days in Vegas with the Pauly man than his wife anyway. Wouldn't you think?
Uh-huh.
Maybe, you think the Pauly man knows the spreads as well as, well, I don't want to go into that. Huh? And Defoe says, don't bet on Balmoral, they're all fixed, and don't bet on Garden State, every horse in their race is breaking.
So apparently, he just hasn't shown up yet. They will be carrying it when he shows up.
Oh, I'm so relieved. I'm so relieved to hear that. Kind of, though, throws a chink in the tempo of doing a show, you know what I'm saying?
It's Monday.
Because, there's nothing going on today anyway. It's Monday. We don't really care. And there are no calls on the board. Not that there would be, because I haven't said anything yet. And the reason I haven't said anything yet is because I was told 10 o'clock he was going to be there, this big Schwarzer. He was going to... See, I don't understand. Why do we have to have a goddamn press conference every time a jock, something happens? Jocks having press conferences. It's Danny and Jimmy all over again. Jimmy and Danny. Yeah, it's that crap all over again. It's the same mentality. Why couldn't they just have a press release? I mean, we've known about it for 2 weeks now that he has some kind of a kidney disorder, and at first they thought it was something real serious, and maybe it's not so serious, and maybe he's going to play, maybe he's not going to play, if anybody cares. Do I care?
No.
I couldn't care less. I wish him nothing but the best of health. He never stole a freight train. But he's not important to me. He has no significance to my life. None. Zero. Absolutely zippity-doo-dah. We've got another presidential debate tomorrow night, and we're worried about Zoe and his kidneys. And since evidently it isn't as serious as they first thought, you think definitely it doesn't merit having a goddamn press conference. Every time you channel surf, you see dumb jocks sitting in front of microphones. Seriously, that's a big part of killing time on TV now. Is dumb jocks sitting in front of, after a tennis match, after a goddamn stupid golf match, everything. Here's a bunch of dumb jocks and their coaches and the managers, and they're all sitting in front of a microphone having a press conference. And half the time, if it's the coaches, they get up in a fit of pique and they walk out. Screw all you guys, F you, and they get up and walk out, which I do enjoy that. Kind of the old Mike Ditka stuff, things like that. Bobby Knight. Let's hear it for Bobby Knight. Oh! I mean, he's an asshole, but at least he was a little bit of fun, you know? What's wrong with watching the coach choke some kid? Beat the crap out of anybody if he gets pissed off. He even cheers across. Let's bring back Woody Hayes. Let's bring back all the goddamn crazy coaches. Put that WWF into... Yeah, let's give them their own show. Put them on an island. Coach Survivor. And see which one comes out the real Survivor. Instead of this pansy-ass crap they have. I'm talking about real brawls, real fisticuffs, real contretemps right there on the island. I bet you Woody Hayes, he would have come out on top. Let's bring back Woody. Let's dig his ashes up just one time. Come on, what do you say? You want to dig him up?
No.
Come on, Rimmer. See, they had a big crowd there on on Friday night. Yeah, you asked Geldy, how many people did they really have on for that game? Because I saw in the paper that it said 13,000 and some odd, which was the season tickets. I said, how many did they really have for the Panther game? He said, 9. Yeah. It's 9 minutes after 10. Zoe ain't saying nothing yet. As soon as he is, I don't want you going anywhere because, God forbid, we're in a real panic. We're in a real stupor over here. We don't want you going down the other end of the dial there looking for the audio on that Zoe press conference. I mean, if it happens, baby, if a jock has hemorrhoids, you'll hear it on this radio station, even in the middle of this highly rated show, because this is the important stuff. It's so damn important, we're going to have it for you.
No portion of this program may be reproduced without the express written permission of WQAM Beasley Broadcast Group, Incorporated.
No.
No, I don't want to play anything because I don't want to have to stop it in the middle. Don't you understand? Because this is so damn important that I can't, what's the point of playing some very funny comedy bit here and then in the middle? Oh, gotta cut this off because Zoe's up there now. All that other stuff. So I did lose my ass in Vegas, but I came back with about $8. And, that's not too bad. But before we get into Vegas and National Airlines and Alice Rantel, who was flitting around out there and all the other good stuff, yeah. Small world, no matter where you go, you can't get away from assholes, no matter where the hell you go. I'm not saying that Defoe is an asshole, although the Pauly man, I don't know him well enough to say the Pauly man's an asshole. Is he? You kind of get that impression, don't you? One of those racetrack degenerate bum kind of guys, kind of like Defoe. But anyway, here's a very important memo that I think we ought to pass along in all fairness. Huh? Try to do it with a straight face, Neil. I'm still watching Channel 10 here. I don't see no big Schwarzer there talking about his kidneys. I don't see nothing. Thanks for screwing up my show, Duff. Oh, yeah, but Channel 10, we got this special agreement. Hey, guess what? I get Channel 10 at my house. I don't have any special agreement. I just turn on the TV, and if I go to the right channel, which on my cable it happens to be 10, what a concept. There it is. Huh? Now, this cable here, we got this AT&T cable, which used to be Store, is that it? Like my mother's got this piece of crap cable. It's on 11. After he told me that, I clicked on 10 on the thing here, and I'm watching En Vivo. En Vivo what? Yeah, live from New York or wherever the hell it was, some crap. I thought to myself, gee, is Channel 10 got all Espanol? That must be it. Oh, no, you don't understand. It's Channel 11 on our cable system. It's Channel 10, and Channel 4 is 122, and Channel 5, who knows? Just to keep you on your toes, I guess, is the way it works. But I'm still waiting. Oh, there's those midgets. Look at that. There's on the Maury show today. They got midgets. As you may be aware, this is a memo dated October 11th. Before we do the memo, poll that George took on Friday, as he was in the middle, evidently, of another one of his I Hate the Jews shows. Regarding the Middle East, the United States should pull out and let the conflict sort itself out. 435, 52.5%, so get the hell out of there. Help the Israelis wipe out the Palestinians. 205, 24.7%. Force the Israelis to make concessions to the Palestinians, which I'm sure what George voted. 187, 22.6%. See, I say just send them some halava and some falafel and wish them the best of luck and say, bye-bye. Yeah, good luck to you. That's what I would tell them. Bye. Yeah, Zygazun and get out of my face. And let's go on to some important stuff, which you're not. Our poll question today has to do with, since today is, of course, the Million Family Rally, and you just turned on C-SPAN and you said that there ain't no million families out there yet, and I try to tell you, they're waiting for the Zoe press conference, baby, because it's so damn important. Once he gives us the good news and the heads up on this whole deal, then they can all go out there and march. You got your priorities wrong, man. Because the priority in the black America, their priority is the NBFNA. That's what it is. The NB Mother FNA. That's the number one priority. Yeah. Bunch of big 7-foot-tall brothers out there slam-a-jamming and stuffing it, and the ball, too. Of course, some of those guys, they tend to stuff it in the wrong place, but that's another story for another day. So is Zoe on there yet?
No.
Damn it. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, I was just going to make a comment. I thought, I think there's something real when you real and coming from the heart when you listen to a Zach Thomas or Alonzo Mourning, and you'll probably agree to listening to the debates where these candidates are just giving you a sales job until November.
There's something from the heart. What are you talking about?
But these guys are whatever you see, you get. You listen to Mourning, you listen to Zach Thomas.
You mean dumb?
No, I don't think they're necessarily.
Most of them are. I'm not talking about them specifically, but most jocks are dumb.
Well, that's the perception, but sometimes you find the perceptions aren't always what the actual reality.
So in other words, you don't think that most jocks are dumb? That's just a perception because they're illiterate and they can't put together a sentence except maybe 5 to 10, like Cecil?
I don't agree with that necessarily. I think it's an individual thing. I think but that's true of any group. There are individuals within it, but as a group, you wouldn't think that say that most jocks are dumb? No, I wouldn't want to make that statement. I'd blame the educational system for not giving them an equal education to non-athletes, if that's what you're asking me. Look at the NCAA and how they treat athletes and what happens in these major schools when they.
Well, what about FSU that's got a quarterback that's 45 years old? What kind of crap is that? He's a 50th year a senior.
Well, he's there strictly to go to the pros. That's just a temporary.
Well, you started to say that's just a scam, is what that is. It's
but that doesn't make him dumb, though. That doesn't.
No, I didn't say he was dumb. He's not dumb.
That's for sure.
No.
I don't think
not to be getting carried a freeload like that for that many years. He can't be too dumb.
He's a pretty. Matter of fact, from what I understand, he's a pretty bright guy. But besides that,
didn't he throw for 500 and some odd yards in the game on Saturday?
Yeah, that's
and
true.
break the all-time FSU record, my buddy Chris Wanke with his bad foot and everything?
In 2.5 quarters he did that,
That's
too.
right.
But you know something? FSU's not interested in... They only rate his intelligence on the field. That's what they consider
That's
smart.
absolutely correct. That's the only thing that counts. I'm glad you got it straightened out. Thank you, sir. The only thing that counts is your intelligence on the field, on the court, on the ice, on the... that's it. That's what counts. Because I'd be smart. I don't be dumb like Fredo. I'd be smart. Is Zoe on there yet?
No.
Jesus, this is turning out to be, and I had that guy, I had another call on there, and he gave up because he didn't think I was going to take any calls. That would probably be all the calls we're going to get today. No, we probably could use a spy report on what kind of an anti-Semitic hose job George did here on Friday, since he hates you Jews like poison. Which I find rather amusing, because it's a Cuban-Jew thing, you know. Jews hate the Cubans, and the Cubans hate the Jews, and everybody hates the Schwarzers. Or is it the other way around? They hate everybody? How do the Schwarzers, no, the Schwarzers and the Cubans don't get along either. Do black people get along with anybody in this country?
No.
No. Which brings me to today's poll question before I get to this memo. I'm doing it because today is the Million Family March, and this Louis Farrakhan is shooting off his big mouth again. It would seem to me that black folks in this country would have much more important things to be doing on a Monday than marching. You know, if you're going to do it on a weekend, but most people aren't working, like on a Sunday, something like that. But it would seem that on a Monday, when most people are supposed to be at work, would be not a good day to encourage millions of people to come schlepping to the Washington Monument to a march again for no particular purpose except that Louis Farrakhan wants to make some more money because he didn't make enough last year. Wouldn't you think that they'd find better things to do? Like maybe, you know, working a job for... I mean, even on Monday, somebody's got to eat burgers, huh? Right? The biggest obstacle facing blacks in America today is, here are your three choices: bigotry, lack of education and job skills, or lack of responsibility. Now that's a good three choices. Do I give a good poll or what? I give great poll. Bigotry, lack of education and job skills, or lack of responsibility, which is the biggest obstacle facing blacks in America today? When I say blacks, I'm not going to break it down. I'm not going to African American and all that other garbage. I'm tired of that. I'm sick of all the labels, all these hyphenated people out there. I'm tired of it. Now, can I get to that damn Beasley memo, which it's not really that long, but I hate to start reading the first sentence, because then if Zoe comes on there with his damn kidney update, then I'll leave everybody hanging, which I hate to do. Don't I hate doing that?
No.
No, I like doing that. October 11th, 2000, to all BBGI employees. Can I ask you this question? I understand that BBGI is the symbol on the NASDAQ for Beasley stock, but since when did BBGI, I see, Beasley Broadcast Group, Inc., until this moment, I never realized that Tattaglia was just a pimp. I never realized that that's what that stood for. Beasley Broadcast Group, Inc., BBG. How do you like that? See, you learn something every day. From George G. Beasley, Chairman and CEO. It says, you didn't read this, huh?
Not on the air.
Saved it for me.
Oh,
why not?
Oh, because I couldn't do it justice.
No. Well, I can't do it justice either because I'm reading it. I'm reading with one eye on the page and one eye on the TV, watching these freaky, grotesque people on Sally there. Although I will say this, let's hear it for Sally. She doesn't have any kids in boot camp today. This is the one show out of the month where she's not doing teenagers at boot camp. And you wonder what's wrong with the women of America watching this crap every day. Although I have to wonder what's wrong with the men of America. You realize, forget about the Bushmeister, which I'm on the plane coming back. I read this great book by Paul Begala, Is Our Children Learning? The Case Against George W. Bush, which I have in my hand right now. Fascinating reading, the best, terrifying. So not only are the majority of men in this country Bush people, but they also gave Dole an edge. Now here's a guy that had a limp member, a gimp hand, and still the American white men voted in favor of Gore. Does that tell you what the average IQ, I mean, this last guy that we were talking about dumb people, went like that. So while the women now are trying to catch up on being this dumb by watching these stupid Sally Jesse and all these other goddamn shows, they got a long way to go, I think. What do the men base their vote on? Because you said last week something about Bush is more macho. Did you say that?
Not me.
Yes, you did.
Not me.
The hell you said?
No. Why the hell would I say that? That doesn't even sound like something I'd say sarcastically.
Yeah, you said he was macho. I said, ¿Quién es más macho? And he said, 16, the 15th of, I'll get to that. Now, he sure can speak the Espanol, but just like the English, he doesn't know what it means, but he sure can speak it, because he's down there with all of his Mexican buddies, his bunk butt buddies. Anyway, I guess I'll read the memo, because I don't think Zoe's going to have any press conference today when you come right down to it. I think I got my own hose job in here. And I'm being forced to sit here and watch a goddamn channel out of the corner of my eye, which I realize I'm supposed to be doing a goddamn radio show, but I like having the TV on there just in case there might be something worthwhile going on. And I'm sitting here watching this stupid bitch with those idiotic glasses of hers, this Sally Jesse, who makes me want to barf. I told her that time that she was on INZ years ago. I don't know who the hell show she was on. And she was in the building over there in the atrium, wandering around like a lost... I walked out there during a commercial break or CBS News, whatever the hell it was, and she's wandering around like looking at the ceiling and at the floor like a space cadet. And you want to know why? Because she's a goddamn space cadet. That's why.
You know, we could watch and listen to.
About wherever you go in South Florida right now, people are talking about Alonzo Mourning.
Get him off my show, goddammit. Are you crazy?
Here's the guy who
blows. Yeah. He blows. Big time. Wherever you go. Can I ask you this question? During this last weekend, I mean, I was in Vegas, so maybe I'm out of a touch. Wherever you went, were people talking about Zoe and his kidneys?
Wherever I went?
Yeah. No. And I mean, I only got back last night, but in the airport, nobody was talking about it. And I turned on TV and I watched a whole bunch of stuff. Was anybody talking about it? No. The only people talking about it were our program director in there and the sports nerds in here. They're the only people talking about it. A bunch of sports nerds like that nerd himself.
Here's the guy.
Yeah. If you look up nerd in the dictionary, his puss is next to it. Mr. Personality. So evidently they're just doing the same thing. They're vamping and filling for time. I can't do this thing now because we got to do the break. Which is good because I already milked this for over half an hour. That's going there. Huh? Milked the memo? I'm squeezing it, baby. Got to go for my therapy this afternoon after the show for my first day of therapy for my hand, which is out of the cast. Let's hear it.
Oh!
Yeah. Got a lot of practice with this hand in Vegas over the weekend. No, not doing that. With those slot machines. Make any money?
No.
Lost my ass. On everything. And the one thing, no matter where we went, MGM, which is where we stayed. Thanks again, Scott. You're a good guy. Good intentions. We lost our ass. Tropicana, Excalibur, the New York. No matter where we went, it was quiet. I'm not talking about in terms of number of people. It was packed. The city was packed out there this weekend. Hard to get a hotel room. But it was quiet like audio. You know, I mean, like they're walking. Usually you hear bells are going off. People are screaming. People are, somebody's winning some money. Very kind of quiet this weekend.
This is 560 QAM. The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
What that man been doing to you? I don't know. Woman, he be no good. And he go back to jail. Now, who be that other smooth man who take your money? I don't know. Well, let me tell you something, girl. You could have given that money to me. I do not bathe, and I am out of incense. If you were not so stupid, I would dance around chicken bones and conjure up the spirit of Estero.
Girl, you be so fine.
Help me experience the benefit of your credit card reading and help subsidize the ever-growing telemarketing industry that caters to the uninformed Negro. For only $6.99 a second, I will tell you what you want to hear and less than you already know.
Call now. To get fleeced, go to the payphone at your local check cashing store and dial 1-800.
1049 at 560 WQM. So I guess George and I must be the only relentless bastards in town who are not overwhelmed by this story that we just wasted about 45 minutes potchking around with here. I mean, first of all, was it really necessary to hear about the doctor's bowel movement this morning and about he had the conference in Toronto, what hotel he stayed at, what flight he came back on, the name of the flight attendant, what he had for dinner, and all this other good stuff? Not to mention all the different universities that he either attended or once spoke at, et cetera, and so on. Yeah, exactly.
On him.
Mm-hmm. So Alonzo ain't playing. Nice going, Barry Jackass. Oh! One more time. One thing I'll say about Barry Jackass. Can't say too much for him. At least he's consistent. He's consistently wrong. Wrong. As usual, the Miami Herald gets it wrong, which they do all the time. He gets it wrong. Oh, yeah, even in the paper as of this morning, very jackass in his story. Oh, yeah, Mourning has told friends that he plans to play this season. Is he playing this season?
No.
How could he have said that? Based on what we just heard, how could he have ever said that? And you notice the little shot he took at Barry in there, like you're a little fat pud-whacking piece of crap, and the Herald blows, and I wouldn't wipe my ass with it. I think I'm paraphrasing, but isn't that basically what he said?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, something like that. That's what he said. He said I wouldn't line the bottom of my bird cage with it if I had a bird. He said Larry Bird wouldn't line the bottom of his ass with it. You jackass, Barry. And appropriately named. So I guess I don't know what the hell we do now. Because we had a couple of people call who were very upset with me because I played that Exorcist music in the background. It wasn't any lack of respect, because even though I really don't care about the story that much, I wish him well and good luck to him. There's a lot of sick people out there. And most of them don't have millions and millions of dollars, and most of them aren't being on television to have a press conference when they get ill. I was just telling George, when I came back from Amsterdam with my busted hand and my cracked ribs, did I have a press conference?
No.
When I came back from my stroke 12 years ago, did I have a press conference?
No.
When I came back from those 4 days in Mount Sinai where they nearly killed me, having my gallbladder out, did I have a press conference?
No.
I could have died in that thing. Did I have a press conference?
No.
I mean, somewhere along the line, some of you people need mental help, especially the sports nerds. Serious mental help. Anyway, here's the memo. Taken me 52 minutes to finally get to this goddamn memo. Oh, and before I do that, can I get Sally Jesse off my damn TV, please? Please. Anything to get her off. Oh, God, a punishment worse than death. And why couldn't they have done that in a press conference? I mean, in a press release. Couldn't they have done that?
And put the whole guy's resume on there.
Yeah, and that's right. They could have had a 10-page press release and put the whole thing on there. But no, we have to have a big song and a dance because every jock in America has to have a big song and a dance. And like I said before, there are people just as good as Alonzo Mourning out there who don't have the millions of dollars, who aren't having a press conference to help them with ailments that are even far more horrendous than what he's got, at the risk of sounding insensitive.
Just as good? Players?
Just as tall. What the hell was that? Please don't tell me that fax machine ran out again, which I keep telling you to get us a real one and you won't do it, and I'll pay for it. See, this is the thing I don't understand about this place. Things that I want that I'm willing to pay for, like the voice shredder that we wanted like 2.5 years ago. Did we ever get it? No. Fax machine, like a real one, where the numbers work when you want them to send something out, they all actually punch down. Have we got it? No. George Beasley sends us this memo last Friday. As you may be aware, articles have appeared both yesterday and today in Inside Radio alluding to a potential merger or sale of Beasley Broadcast Group Incorporated. The information conveyed in these two articles could not be more unfounded. It's difficult to imagine what fuels such speculations. Perhaps someone is attempting to bolster their own position by creating a false scenario. My preference, and I trust yours as well, is to bolster BBGI's position in the broadcasting industry by accurately reporting our company's solid performance. As I've commented to you in the past, Beasley Broadcast Group is in good financial shape with a competitive market position, above average growth prospects, and a strong balance sheet with which to support continued growth. Which is why we can't pay you on time, and some of you folks haven't got paid for months. The Beasley family and the BBGI board of directors are passionate about radio. In fact, we might even go out and buy one someday. Yeah, they might actually go out and buy one. And then they might actually take a course and find out how to turn it on. It's what we've successfully done for nearly 40 years, and it's what we intend to do well into the 21st century. Signed, George W. Beasley. Let's hear it. Anybody believe in that memo? No. That cinches it for me. Which group do you think is buying? Because as soon as the strident denials start coming in, you know they're full of crap. Here's a mobile in Deerfield Beach. Hello.
How are you, Neil?
Okay.
I wonder how many people took off of work to watch that stupid press conference there. Anyhow,
probably those million families.
I'm telling you. I went this weekend to go get some Neil gear at the to get a keychain from Specs.
Yeah.
And I live in Deerfield, and I called the one out in Coral Square, and I talked to the maybe they should call it Spix. I'm not sure, but I talked to somebody there, and I asked them if they had the Neil gear, and the guy said yeah, and I specifically asked them about the keychain. Yeah, come on down. I drive all the way from Deerfield Beach out there. I get there, and they say, oh, I thought you meant the CDs. I said, I
Well,
asked
it
you...
sounds like keychain, CD, keychain.
Oh, my word. Can I get some competent people in there? I was wondering if you can just give me a quick, on the air, where a specs that has your keychains is.
They haven't built it yet.
They haven't built it yet.
No.
So we have to...
I'm glad that you called to beat me to the punch, because this is the next piece of bad news I have today, besides losing my ass in Vegas, is the fact that the nephew comes in here this morning to lay on the news to me that Specs has got the CDs and the cassettes and not the keychains. And I went, huh? He said, oh, well, I never said they were going to have the keychains. And he kind of like, maybe next year, he said, and kind of waltzed out of here.
Oh, jeez. Can we still order them through the website?
Yes, sir. That's the only place you get them, plus whenever they go out in our QM van.
Great. I got to get a bunch of them. Those things are awesome.
They're the best.
We need a volume 2, 3, 4 every month. Put one out.
Okay.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, amigo. So there you go. There's the bad news. The good news is Specs has got the CDs and the cassettes. The bad news, they don't have the keychains, because we're still working on that and because they don't know how to do things right here. But hey, we're used to that by now after 3 years of this. At least like Very Jackass, they're consistent.
This is 560 QAM. Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale. A Beasley Broadcast Group station. And WQAM.com for the world.
This is your brain.
See, it threw me off when you mentioned Bob Vermouth.
Any questions?
My bowels started twitching.
This is a story about a girl named Whiny. Every morning, she wakes up with all the cash that she needs. She's rich and famous. She's a star, and she's still just a teen. They go, why is she complaining? This Britney Spears girl. And they say she's so whiny. She's a bitch, yeah, she's just 18. And she's really rich, they say. In her young life, nothing has gone wrong. So why does she whine in this song? She had a date with Prince William, and she kissed half the guys, some mincing. But she's real unhappy, and her mood is crappy. Hey, come on, she can't even lip sing.
You're gay.
They go, she is making millions, is kid in her teens. And they say she's so whiny. What a pain when she starts to whine. I need Novocaine, they say, that she knows her career won't last long. That's why she is whining in this song.
11:02 at 560 WQAM. Did I mention about National Airlines?
Uh-huh.
I guess it was a long time ago, so long that I forgot all about it. They really are great. Thank you, God bless you, National Airlines. Not that I got a freebie, I paid through the nose. But they're dynamite. It's a great thing when you find an airline that actually gets someplace on time and takes off on time and treats you right. Food, going out, if you get on a flight that leaves like late at night like we did on Thursday night, they don't serve an awful lot. Like in first class, a tamale. Just like a tamale on a plate, not even a good tamale. And I thought they're not really big on food on this airline, are they? But coming back yesterday, because it was like around a little after lunchtime, the food just keeps on coming. Not gigantic portions, but pretty damn good. So I give them an A+, National Airlines. Anybody wants to go to Vegas, be my guest. Like I said, it's a great place, so I have a lot of fun. I'm not going to be going back for 20 or 30 years. I'm a little burnt out. So are we the only ones who are unimpressed? I mean, I don't want to sound callous or insensitive at anybody's ailment, and obviously it's a serious thing. But I just don't understand the furor and the hoopla and the outcry and the hysteria about this thing. I just don't get it. We'll find out. Because about the only response we got off the air was George getting about 3 people calling in saying, why is he playing that music? It's disrespectful. He's a prick, you son of a bitch, stuff like that. Which is fine if you want to say that. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil, good morning.
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm an African-American male, and I also hate using labels, so I'm just going to stay quiet. I listened to that Alonzo Mourning press conference, and I also suffer from focal arterial sclerosis of the kidney. I've been diagnosed with that for about 4 years now.
Uh-huh.
My case.
Did you have a press conference?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
sir.
okay.
My case came from the use non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, and when I was playing football in high school.
Right.
So that's where they diagnosed it from. But a good case for Alonzo is, well, and also for me, because the way they treat this is basically it's brought on by some onset of some disease, and for me it was high blood pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And so the treatment for this, which is probably, it may be for Alonzo, it may not be for Alonzo, I don't know. But the treatment is basically diuretics, change of diet.
Dianetics?
And high blood pressure medication.
Right.
Now, this thing this doctor was talking about with these immunosuppressants, I've never heard that before. And I've been going to the nephrologist for the last 4 years along with my primary caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something new that I've just heard of. Now, maybe when I bring it up to my nephrologist, maybe she'll know a little bit more. Because she also went to the meeting up in Toronto, I believe that's what he said.
Yeah, they had all my hotel rooms locked up, those guys, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll also bring it up. But, yeah, the way it came down on me was I also had edema in the feet. And also, I had this painful thing in my foot. I think it's called gout.
Yeah.
And once I got there, I had it the first time, and I went to the doctor and got it checked out. And basically, they did blood tests and all that stuff, and that's how they found out.
Yeah. So how are you doing now? Is it all under control?
Yes, it is. What they try to do is, in some sense, you're always going to have some damage to the kidney if that's the way they explain to me. There's going to be some scarring, there's some irreversible scarring they're not going to be able to change.
Mm-hmm.
But what we try to do is prevent future scarring and try to reverse the scarring that they can reverse. And basically, that's what they try to do, because the kidney is very important. It controls blood pressure and it controls some of the other things also. So, I feel pretty good. I lead a pretty healthy life. I exercise, I run. You have to change the diet. It has to go to a low salt, low fat diet.
Mm-hmm.
Also the cholesterol, because you know how, particularly in my family, my mother and father, they tend to like a lot of spicy and a lot of kind of greasy things.
Yeah,
you also have to change
all that fried chicken, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So anyway, I just sort of want to give you an idea and let you know how, there's plenty of us out here. We do very well. We're living very well. And, you just have to take it one day at a time.
There you go. Okay, you take care of yourself.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Bye. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Out of town, 877-785-6345. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
All right.
Let's get the important stuff. When you were in Vegas, did you play that new Spanish 21? Play blackjack, or what do you normally play when you go there?
No, I didn't play no 21.
Oh, you don't play blackjack?
No.
Okay. It's got a great new... I'm sorry?
I said, no, I didn't play it.
Okay. We are going out on National, though, in January. I've heard a lot of good about it.
I'm going to tell you, you won't believe what a great airline it is. I'm serious. I'm not exaggerating. I paid for it the full amount, but they're great.
Yeah. We're really interested. We've forgotten about them also. We go out there every January, and we finally found what actually was a good rate.
I mean, unlike America Worst, which can't seem to get their act together, and which used to fly those puddle jumpers, would take forever to get out there and back. We got out there in about a little over 4.5 hours, maybe 4:40, and coming back it was 4 hours and 15 minutes.
And they fly 757, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, much better than that 7 whatever it is that America West flies.
You bet.
Okay, well, I just thought maybe they mentioned that game. I thought maybe you might have lost some money at that one, too.
No, hey, listen, if I'd have known. Have a great day, pal. Have a good time.
Good one.
Yeah, see, Vegas is great, but after a while, there's certain times you get burned out on things. It's like anything. Huh? Like banana splits. I mean, you could love a banana split, but after the first 4,000, you say, I don't think anymore. Like Peter Leonard. I'm burned out on him. I don't want to see him again. He's killing me with all that food. No, he is. He is killing me. And I've decided the way to solve that is just keep him out of here. Fat Boy, keep him out of here. Chris Reed, keep him out of here. See, now he'll get all surly in there. Oh, gee, he gets very defensive, Chris. And, of course, we can understand why. It's 9 minutes after 11 at 560 WQM.
You're a bastard.
The World Wide Web. If you aren't online and working your own e-business, you're well off the pace. But now, there's an online company that can help you catch up. Erupsy.com. Erupsy.com is the new way to eliminate all the hard work that goes into building, maintaining, and advertising a high-tech website, and takes you right to its ultimate conclusion in one easy step.
I've always wanted to start my own e-business, and Erupsy.com helped me run through all my cash reserves and declare Chapter 11 quickly, without the hassle of actually hiring or laying off anybody.
Erupsy.com's online professionals can translate their knowledge into quick results for you every time.
Without Erupsy.com, I could have spent 12 to 18 months of hard work trying to keep my e-business afloat. But Erupsy.com made it easy for me to go into and out of business in no time at all.
That's because Erupsy.com can provide you with its proprietary software called No Chance. Once you install it on your computer, you'll see how impossible it is to actually make money without doing porn.
Erupsy.com made it possible for me to go broke without giving up my day job.
Erupsy.com. When you want to start your own online business, we'll take the worry out of going broke.
So let me ask you, how's that Xerox doing? 11:14 at 560 WQM. Million Family Rallies underway, baby. Today be the day. Louis Farrakhan staging another memorable rally, it says, almost certain to highlight his efforts to transform the Nation of Islam and himself into a major and more inclusive player in mainstream politics. Can't get no more mainstream than... Maybe if you get like some of that Regis stuff to wear. Yeah, like a new wardrobe might help. Because he don't look too mainstream to me. Like the guy that hands out those leaflets, is peddling those leaflets on the street corner out here on Ives-Dairy and 441 every day. Our poll question today, the biggest obstacle facing blacks in America today is lack of responsibility is leading so far with 36. Lack of education and job skills is in second place with 31. And bigotry is in the distant third with only 8. That's our poll. The biggest obstacle facing blacks in America today is which of those 3? The Globe says Lieutenant Bush was too drunk to fly. And then I also picked up, which I mentioned before, Paul Begala's great book, Is Our Children Learning? With a picture of George W. there on the front of with the finger on his forehead. The case against George W. Bush. Now, people would say, the Republicans, of course, would say, well, you know, that Paul Begala, he was a advisor to Gore and Clinton and good buddies with that bald-headed geek James Carville, which all of that is absolutely true, but everything in this book is well documented, very well written with footnotes and the whole thing, about 130 pages. And you know something? I might just read the whole thing on the air today, the way it looks on the phone here. Huh? Do you think that might be a good idea? Or else we'll just repeat the Alonzo press conference over and over again.
We got it on tape.
Because it is Monday. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's our last call, Boynton Beach. Hello.
Yes, I'd like to have a press conference to announce for everyone to buy Intel and Office Depot so I can get money back. Thank you.
And don't forget Xerox, please. Oh. And don't forget Citrix. How can you leave that out? And that Dish TV. See, one thing about Mitch Hirsch. He may not be good, but he's like Barry Jackass. Not good, but at least consistent. He picks all losers. How is that possible? I mean, you think just by accident, like shooting darts at a board, sooner or later you hit something. Not Mitch. He's consistent. He couldn't hit the broadside of the barn with his fist. Here's a mobile in Pompano. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are you?
Okay.
Let me tell you something. I'm a little peeved at the news. I think it's really pathetic that, you know, just because this guy, Alonzo Mourning, you know, I don't even follow sports. I know he's a basketball player, but, you know, they got to jump all over the story and make this guy to be something he's really not. What about all these kids at the Miami Children's Hospital and Joe DiMaggio and, you know, why can't they run their freaking cameras down there and turn them on and say, hey, look at all these children, help them out?
See, here's a guy that makes about $15 or $20 million a year. I think he's going to be okay. He's probably got pretty good health insurance through the team, and he's got all that money, all those millions of dollars. So he's got the best medical care that money can buy in the world, and there are a lot of people out there that can't get any medical care.
Yeah, you got that right. And that caller three or four calls back, the one that had the problem with gout and all that. It's all about money, buddy. However,
right.
If you got the money, you're going to get the information and the best help that money can buy.
As George would say, you got it. 56705. Come on, let's get going here, man. Let's have a show. I realize we're under a little bit of pressure here today with that stupid press conference, that we're a little bit off balance, a little bit out of sync. It sure worked for me, I'll tell you that. 5670560, pound 5. See, they're all pissed off. They all think that I'm being irreverent and not taking this serious enough. It's not that I don't take it seriously. I just don't think it's that important. It doesn't affect our lives. Does it affect your life? No. Does it affect my life? No. Here's a mobile and homestead. Hello.
Neil, how you doing this morning?
Okay.
Hey, I feel the same way you feel about this Alonzo Mourning thing. But that's not why I called. I'm flying out to Las Vegas on...
Viva Las Vegas! Well, I left a lot of money for you to win out there, pal. I left plenty of money for you to go get.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I've never played. I'm not going there to play. Actually, it's a little getaway for me and my wife, and I'm flying on the same airline you are. Or you flew on.
Yeah, National, the best.
Really?
The best in the world.
I never even heard of them.
Well, I'm just telling you, they're great. I mean, they're relatively new, but boy, they do a good job. They got good planes, and they treat you right, and they just they leave on time, and they just seem to have their act together.
Well, that's thank God. I'm looking forward to that. Let me ask you a question, Neil. What do you do in Las Vegas? And I know it's a stupid question. I don't gamble.
Uh-huh.
But what else do you do? You know,
rent a car. You go and see all. You can go to see all the shows. You can go eat all the buffets. Go around to the different casinos, eat the buffets, and eat tons of food very cheap. You can drive out to the mountains and see all the unbelievable scenery. You can go to the Grand Canyon. There are all kinds of things you can do.
Oh, great! Yeah, I'm thinking of going to Hoover Dam on Saturday.
There you go.
Yeah,
won't cost
I'm looking forward to it.
Just leave your money at home.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, pal. Have a great time.
I'll give you a call and let you know how it went.
Okay.
Thanks, Neil.
See, speaking of that, I forgot the most important part of the whole thing I was going to tell you about my trip, about Miami International Airport. You idiots out there that are always talking about this being a world-class city, and I have to laugh my ass off every time I hear that. See, I'm begging you, I've been telling you this for years, all you poor bastards out there that are stuck here, once in a while, just hijack a plane, do something, and go someplace, and see what the real world is all about. This is a world-class city. We leave Thursday night. The flight's leaving at 9:20 or 9, whatever the hell it is, 9:40. So we're walking through the airport about 8:20, 8:30, and it's out there in Concourse H, way out at the end, which is fine. It's the new concourse. Delta's in there. And being a schmuck that I am, instead of going and getting, all the magazines, reading material, and all the other stuff we want to take on the plane, like in the main part of the terminal, you figure, well, anywhere you go out there, hi, Joe Rizzoli, anywhere you go out there, there's going to be all kinds of stuff in each terminal, right? Am I right about that? No, not if you're there, like, past 6 o'clock at night, or 7 o'clock. See, any real airport, like even in Geneva, New York, they must have an airport that has got magazines and a newsstand and candy and something past 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Not at MIA. Not at freaking MIA. Because once it gets to be about 8 o'clock at MIA, they put everything away. That's right. Now, I realize that there must be some parts, like in the main part of the terminal. And then, of course, coming back last night, forget about it. Get back in there at 8:20 at night, supposed to get in at 8:30. Got in 10 minutes early. Oh! National Airlines is sensational. And they really are. I'm not exaggerating. They're great. Get back 10 minutes early. And not that we needed to buy anything, but just out of curiosity, you're looking around as you're going through that Concourse H. There is nothing. There isn't a newspaper. There isn't a magazine. There isn't a candy bar. There isn't a goddamn hand grenade. There's nothing. Absolutely, positively, zero. Zippity-doo-dah. This town, it's just, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, it's all the same. Bush freaking League. At least it's consistent. Like Barry Jackass, there's our major newspaper. Now here's this big story today, the Zoe story, which could have been handled a lot differently as far as I'm concerned. But nonetheless, here's this story, which I guess is important to a lot of people. Did the Herald get it right?
No.
No. And again, as usual, right on the front page. Just like their 75-part series about a radio station, our big competition down there at 1900 on the dial that nobody can hear and nobody wants to hear, that nobody's listening to. That was also on the front page. Barry Jackass, this kid has got to have naked pictures of the whole Knight family, the John S. Knight family doing billy goats. Or maybe just doing each other. He's got to have. He's got to have more naked pictures than they got around this place. Because he can't get anything right. This little fat tub of crap. But I mean, if you want to understand what this town is all about, the epitome of this town, just go into Miami International Airport in the evening. I'm not talking at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm talking about in the evening. Can you imagine going into like Atlanta Airport 8 o'clock at night and everything's closed down?
No.
Dallas Airport? No. Logan Airport in Boston?
No.
Anywhere. I'm trying to think of any place, I mean, bigger than Geneva, where you could go in there at 8:30, 8 o'clock at night and then not find anything because everybody's gone home. There's something desperately wrong with this town. Bush freaking League. And I see Friday night, the big hockey game that I wasn't here for, which I did give the tickets away, but they didn't get used, I'm sorry to tell you. But anyway, I tried. And I understand the attendance around the league is weak, and the schedule sucks like it says in the paper this morning, all of these things, but you gotta be kidding me. The second home game of the season on a Friday night when the schedule is this sparse and they're spread out over that longer period of time. It's not like people are asking you, hey, come on out and support the team and have sell it out every night. 2 games a week apart. There's not another home game till the 18th against Jersey. And the excuse last week was, oh, you got to be crazy, Neil, even though it's opening night. There's the big FSU Miami game. There's the Dolphin game on Sunday, none of which were on the same day. Was there a Dolphin game this weekend?
No.
A Hurricane game?
No.
No. Anything else big going on in town this weekend?
No.
No. Besides Neil coming back to the airport? You know something? When I got to the airport, I should have called up my friends at Channel 10 and held a press conference and said, I just came back from Vegas and I lost my ass. And saw Alice Rantel. I didn't see him. John saw him out there. Yeah, that would have been big news. Had a frickin' press conference of my own. Because every time somebody of any importance in this country farts, they have a press conference on TV. And you get to smell it live while it's still in the air, while the pungent aroma is still fluting around in the air. Yeah, Doug fluting around in the air. Nice going there, little Doug. Oh! God. 26 after 11 at 560 WQAM. All you Atkins diners out there. You people, and do me a favor. Do yourself a big favor. Stay away from Peter Leonard. This man will kill you. Trust me when I tell you. Brings in a 16-course meal in here on Thursday, whatever the hell day it was. Stay out of here, Peter Leonard. You're persona non grata in the studio.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Neil, God. Tonight, A&E goes undercover to reveal a frightening aspect of who could be the next president of the United States. George Bush is the Antichrist.
Of course I care about all the issues facing America.
And your mother is hung like Rosie O'Donnell.
Like all candidates, I support term limitations.
Fat chance, assholes. The new millennium is all mine.
Unlike the previous administration, I'd bring dignity back to the Oval Office.
Yes, after I'd rip off your skin and snack on your balls.
Join Sam Neill, your host for tonight's A&E, George Bush, the Antichrist.
Big debate tomorrow night. Let me tell you right now, if Gore don't win that debate, if he doesn't take those gloves off and win the debate tomorrow night, he hasn't got a Chinaman's chance in hell. I'll tell you that right now. Just remember you heard it on this show. That's the terrifying news. You better get with it, Al. Here's Pompano Beach. Hello.
Yeah, Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got to tell you, you are a god.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I felt like I was being punished this morning because I was listening to you and I had Sally on.
Uh-huh.
And I think we should start a class action suit against QAM for making you do that.
Making me do what? They didn't make me do it, but I mean, they would have been very upset, I guess, if I didn't, because this is all they know. They still don't understand after 3 years that this show is their bread and butter, and then all this other extraneous sports stuff is mostly a bunch of crap. And I'm not talking about Alonzo Mourning's health being a bunch of crap, obviously, but that's something that couldn't we have condensed that? Couldn't it have been narrowed down and we passed along the news in 30 seconds or less? As opposed to like throwing a whole goddamn show off, which I don't care. It killed an hour. It's a Monday anyway, but it's just not the right way to do it. They don't know the right way to do it here.
I think I want to write the station manager a nasty letter.
Well, that won't do you any good.
I believe it.
Because he may not have anybody around to read it to him.
Yeah. And on the political note, I was thinking maybe Al Gore and Bush should dress up for Halloween, and we just vote on the best costume.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
I think that's what we're doing. Is that what we're doing?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. 5670560. Which one? Which? Pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Boy, my feet are like all dried out. My skin. It's that Vegas thing again. I was just telling Joe Rizzoli. Joe was telling me about his last recent trip to Vegas coming back on America Worst Airlines. It was another nightmare. See, they're like Barry Jackass. Yeah, they're consistent. America Worst. Has anybody ever had a good flight on America Worst?
No.
I never heard about one. All I hear is nightmares, horror stories all the time. So now you have an alternative. You got this National Airlines. And I'm not going to be going back to Vegas anytime soon, so it's not like I'm on here sucking around to get on their good side, so next time I go for free, although there's something to think about. But I'm not going anytime soon. I'm burnt out. I'll let the rest of you go there and take your money. I'm losing enough with my good buddy Mitch Hirsch and all those good tips I get, the inside information on those stocks. Rimmer. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Neil, Friday was Sukkot, so I got to get a parking spot at the arena. Sukkot? The holiday?
Friday was Sukkot?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
how's Pavel's groin?
He still got it.
Is it okay?
Thanks for the good call. There's our report on the hockey game. Friday was Sukkot? First of all, Sukkot, even assuming it was, it may have been because I think Sukkot is in October. It may have been, but it's not a religious holiday. So that's but there's our excuse. It was Sukkot. That's why the Jews didn't show up for the hockey game on Friday. It's the same reason they're not calling on this show here today. Because they're all pissed off because George did 4 hours of anti-Semitism here on Friday, which I didn't hear any of it, obviously, but I'm sure that's what it was. And he's laughing in there, nervous laugh, because he knows it's true.
Scathing, oh yeah.
Scathing? Well, that's okay. Doesn't bother me. 5670560. Last call for some phone calls, and then I'm just going to read this whole book on the air, cover to cover. That's what I'll do. This is pathetic. Here's a mobile in Margate. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, man, long-time listener, first-time caller, man.
All right.
I wanted to say, man, you know, as a person, I feel what they were talking about Alonzo and his kidney and so forth. But as a fan of the Miami Heat, what's going on with him in the Miami Heat? How long is he going to miss? Hello?
Yeah.
How long is he going to miss? Do you know? Do you have any idea on his time frame here?
10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
5.
5. Get out of here.
2.5.
Get out of here. You might as well retire, man.
How about 1.5?
He's still going to hurt the Heat, man.
He's gonna wait a minute. He's gonna hurt the Heat. Is that what you just said, sir? Before I get hysterical, let me just make sure I understood the words that came from your thick lips. Did you just say he's gonna hurt the Heat?
He's gonna hurt by him missing. As a fan, I hate to see him go, but if he's gonna be hurt, he's gotta go.
But you said he's gonna hurt. You said he's gonna hurt the Heat.
He's gonna hurt the Heat.
He's got kidney disease, man. He's got the top doctors in the universe sitting right there with that long resume that you heard this morning, and you're telling me he's gonna hurt the Heat. That's your reaction to it?
I heard the resume, but I didn't hear anything about his time frame. How long is he gonna miss, man? That's as the fan, as the person, I feel bad. And
you don't feel bad. All you care about is that he be there so you can win.
Man, that's true too.
Okay, thank you.
He's got a lot of nerve, that Alonzo.
Yeah. Alonzo, I got news for you, man. Your public is pissed off because you're going to hurt the Heat. That's right. I just heard it from this Schwarzer here, right here, just moments ago. You're going to hurt the Heat. You better reconsider it. You better go ahead and play. And if you die, you die. But in the meantime, maybe you'll score a few points. That right there, that summed it up perfectly. One call on the board. Is this one call at a time Monday? Is that what this is today? I'm serious. Let's replay the press conference. I'm sure there must be some Arabs and Jews killing each other again today. Let's put that on. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. We have reached the bottom. We've reached rock bottom here today. This is the end. Here's a mobile implantation. Hello.
Neil, good morning. How are you doing?
Okay.
I called you a while ago before you went on your vacation talking about Citrix. Remember I talked to you about the stock market?
I don't know, no.
Yeah.
I do get a lot of calls some days.
I told you can buy it at 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Which I did do, and sold it at 22. And went short. So I don't know who your broker is, but I got a feeling.
Yes, you do. If you listen to the show, you know it's Mitch Hirsch. You know he's my broker.
Well, why do you stay with a guy like this?
How am I going to change broker every week? Is that what I'm going to do every week?
No.
How often do you change?
But this guy, he apparently he's not really in the swing. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He's just playing the stock of the day. I had left a message to George for someone for you to call. I don't want to go on the air who I am. And I had recommended somebody that would be calling you, and apparently you never adhered to the call. But nevertheless...
I never adhered to the call? What does that mean?
Well, you never called. He called you, and you never, you wouldn't call him back, or whoever called. I was just trying to help you out, Neil, because I think you're a nice guy.
Yeah.
And,
I am a nice guy, and I'm losing my hand over fist because I got a stockbroker that picks all dog stocks. He falls in love with stocks that were hot a year ago, and he just keeps chasing them.
Neil, I can tell you that for the month of September, I was off 5.5%.
Yeah.
Which is a winner. Which is a winner. And now everything I have is moving straight back up again. So you're just in the wrong place. This guy is going for the stock of the day, like the flavor of the day. He's for the stock of the day. And you're not in. I don't think you're invested.
Citrus is not the stock of the day these days. It hasn't been the stock of the day for over a year now. It's been in the toilet.
But Neil, why the guy would buy stock on the way down is by trying to catch a falling dagger.
Right. That's exactly what you said the first time. Okay, thank you. Remember when he said that exactly the same thing? See, so my stockbroker blows, but you got to get some new material, man. Like you're falling on a, what did he say? Falling on a broken stick? Something like that. As in stick it up your, yeah, that's what I can do with all the stocks I got. Now this guy means well, he's right, he's got a good point, but don't worry about it. I just lost plenty of money in Vegas, I can afford it. I'm spreading it around a little bit. Sharing the wealth.
Helping the economy.
That's correct. I'm watching it trickle down. Right down my leg. 21 till noon at 560 WQA.
I wanted to give you the real thing here, Neil.
Come on, America. It's time to grow up and step outside the closet.
Tell a friend about your secrets and bring out the gayness. Bring out the gayness.
All right.
Bring out the gayness. Tell a friend about your secrets and bring out the gayness. From all the anus you can get.
Christians, preachers, and all the religious right, you're not fooling anyone anymore. It's in the papers every day, so why not catch up with the rest of the world and tell your disciples the truth to set yourself free? Next time you want to reach out for goodness, reach for a handful of that.
Tell a friend about your secret and bring out the gayness.
Rectum.
Bring out the gayness.
Yes.
Bring out the gayness. Tell a friend about your secret and bring out the gayness. Tell your disciples that you're gay.
11:45 at 560 WQAM. So the Globe has a story here, and of course on the plane, I get a lot of good time reading all the tabloids. It's great. Lieutenant Bush was too drunk to fly.
You call that a penis?
Shocking medical reports documenting that George W. Bush was often too drunk to fly when he was in the Texas Air National Guard are said to be released in an effort to destroy his presidential hopes, a source confides. The young lieutenant was a big drinker, and if he had been suddenly called to duty, he would not have been allowed in the cockpit, it is claimed. The reports experts agree are a potential bombshell that could derail the Bush campaign. If genuine, they were absolutely dynamite, forecast one insider. They appear to show that while other guys his age were dying in Vietnam, George W. was partying like crazy in Houston. If he had been called to fly on several occasions, he wouldn't have been able to because of alcohol consumption and hangovers. The papers have been gathered by renegade Democrats who are furious at Al Gore's decision not to launch any personal attacks on his opponents as a source. Governor Bush has made a stunning recovery in the polls that now show the two candidates running neck and neck. The Texans already under fire over how he got into the Guard and how he appeared to go AWOL halfway through his service. Critics have charged that Bush only enlisted to keep from being sent to Vietnam. According to sources, he was assigned to a squad nicknamed the Champagne Unit and turned into a wild party animal. The group aiming to derail Bush says they've gathered detailed evidence about several lost weekends, reveals the insider. They allege that he and his best buddy regularly took off down to Mexico, spending days drinking tequila and chasing local girls. When they got back on base, they were too blasted to fly when they arrived and still unfit the following day. In checking if Bush had been unable to fly because of drinking, Globe spoke to a well-placed source in Texas familiar with the governor's service. He confirmed that Bush's flying experience with the National Guard in Texas ended after he refused to take a medical exam. It was a mandatory physical, but he refused to take it, said the source. Presumably he was concerned about what it would show. It meant he forfeited his pilot's license and could not pilot any longer. Instead, the future governor applied to switch his service to the Alabama National Guard in a non-flying, paper-shuffling role, but according to numerous sources, including the man who would have been his commander, Bush never even showed up for duty. George W.'s military service is a developing scandal, adds the insider. If the too drunk to fly records are released and proved genuine, then his goose is cooked. It says. And right beneath that is a story about Joe Lieberman's wacky divorce, which the only thing I find really wacky in the story is about the fact that his wife, Hadassah, has a son from a previous marriage. Her first husband was Rabbi Gordon Tucker of White Plains, New York.
Oi!
They don't come no more Jewish than the Liebermans. I'll tell you that right now. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir?
Hey, Neil. How's it going?
All right.
Hey, Neil, I went to see The Exorcist last night.
Uh-huh.
And I went to Aventura, which was a big, big mistake going over there to watch it.
Jimmy, want to do this to me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, in the part where the two priests are in the room and...
having sex?
Well, no. No. Where she's levitating over the bed.
Oh, the exorcism itself, yeah?
Yeah, and they're saying the power...
Christ compels you!
Yeah. Yeah, that part.
The power of Christ compels you!
Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting there watching a movie, not to mention all the cell phones and all the talking and laughter going on. I really can't enjoy the movie. So as that's going on, when the priest starts saying, now you know they say it about like 12, 15 times.
That the power of Christ compels you!
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, somebody...
That the power of Christ compels you!
Yeah.
Somebody in the audience says, okay, everybody, now you got the whole theater chanting that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I love it.
Bunch of assholes, all these niggas, man. You can't go to a movie theater and enjoy all the niggas.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. And out of town, 877-785-6345. Which brings to mind our poll question today. The biggest obstacle facing blacks in America today is lack of responsibility, is 61 votes, 49.5%. Lack of education and job skills, 40.6%. Bigotry, only 12, 9.7%. Out of a paltry turnout of 123 votes on there. Speaking of paltry turnout, what is the story here today? I know this is Monday, but this is particularly unusual.
That thing. You think they're coming back after that? They think it's still going on.
So you're trying to say that our program director screwed up this high-rated show today? The hell it's not.
He knows what these people want. He has to
what people
exercise
want.
the will of the powers that be in the station.
Screw the powers that be. When we first came on this station, remember Barry Jackass got all indignant in one comment. Oh, on the sports station, Neil Rogers refused to carry a press conference where Jimmy Johnson announced that he had 3 hairs fall out over the weekend. Yeah. And here we are 3 years later kicking serious ass, dominating this radio station and this market, and Barry Jackass, again, being made a total fool out of for getting the story wrong consistently. And again, a real big story getting it wrong. And we're going to take this show and turn it into another series of press conferences for jocks and coaches and all this other crap? Is that what you're talking about? Okay. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Hey, Neil, what's going on?
How you doing?
I stuck it to the press conference, so. I have a spy report on Friday's show. Like
Yeah.
George said, it was excellent.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. And I completely agree with him with what he says of your professional Jew. What do you think of that?
Yeah. How long did you work all weekend on it?
I got the rough draft right here.
Yeah.
No, it was a good show. It was that the Queen Esther was, I liked it. I liked it as a different point of view. She wasn't afraid to criticize Israel. And it's almost as bad, like if you criticize Israel, like if you criticize the Cubans or the Iran thing.
Yeah. But this is coming from a guy who says to me that he's shocked by the fact that I'm not ashamed to be Jewish.
No, I don't want.
So I guess he's never been in Hallandale.
I don't think you're ashamed to be Jewish. I think it's just easy to make fun of.
Okay.
Well.
Okay. I don't know what he had a sock over it in his phone too. It sounded like. You know, Georgia's got a problem with his anti-Semitism, and I understand that, and that's
not a
just the way
problem for
it
me.
is. Yeah, it is. It's a problem for all the Jews, which doesn't bother me either. I couldn't care less about any of that stuff. In fact, I'm going to give you a good parallel with the piss. I might as well piss everybody off. I care about as much about what's happening in the Middle East as I do about Alonzo Mourning's press conference this morning. I put them both on the same level in terms of my own life. I have no interest in either one. None. Zero. And if that sounds bad, I'm going to say it again. There are lots of people out there who have lots of illnesses. There are people with no money who have illnesses far worse than whatever Alonzo Mourning has got. But the problem is because, everybody is an icon. People in this society are falling into three categories. There are the icons, the divas, and the rest of our schmucks. That's it. That's our class society in America. You're either an icon if you're a male, a diva if you're a female, which that word just makes me nauseous, or you're just another schmuck, like all the rest of us. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. I should have stayed in Vegas. I could have made it all back. Yeah, I could have done that Mitch Hirsch routine and chased my money. I could have quadrupled down. Here's a mobile in Sweetwater. Hello.
Hey, I just want to say that I think that show George did Friday was the best one he ever did.
Uh-huh.
And that woman he had on was great. She had a super personality.
What woman he had on?
I
hadn't as early.
She referred to herself as Queen Esther.
I called her that.
Yeah.
But
she didn't want to get out there for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I don't understand why. A lot of these guys that I guess were Palestinians called in. I don't know why more Jews didn't call in, but
because as soon as they heard George was going to be on, the Jews all tuned out.
Well, it was a very interesting show, and I'll tell you, I don't catch this show much of it each day, but I catch a little bit, and I don't get the anti-Semitic thing. I don't know if he disagrees with a Jew or something. Does that make
I'm not. No, you're missing my point. It's not his position on Israel. It's just consistent with his problem with Jews. He has a Jew problem.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't see it, but maybe he knows. Maybe George can sympathize a little bit with it.
He's done the show for 100 years. Believe me, I see him every day, Monday through Friday, for 100 years. He has a Jew problem. He doesn't like Jews.
Well,
he's homophobic, and he's in denial about that. I had a long chat with Joe Costello about this when George was out on vacation a couple weeks ago, and he agrees with me. He knows George like a book, inside and out. He's got a real problem with fags and Jews, which is why he does this show.
Okay, well, anyway, I thought the show was great.
I'm sure it was. And have a great day. Okay, but see, I'm glad that George did a great show on Friday. Just like I've been telling you, like when I came back from being away for 10.5 weeks, and George had done the show all summer, just like I predicted, he did a great job. The ratings stayed right up there. He did fine. Everybody seemed to be happy. But today is Monday. It's not Friday anymore, okay? I don't want to keep dwelling on George's anti-Semitism here on Monday. And to think that it was Sukkot, too, that's really rubbing the salt in the wound. I'll tell you right now. Just can't get over this fact he don't like the Jews. Which he thinks it bothers me. I don't care. And
crap. That's such crap, though.
What?
That I don't like the Jews.
It's true. You have a Jew problem.
That is so. Nothing could be further from the truth. I have Jew envy, if anything.
How could you say that?
Jew bastard.
See? Now it's starting to come out. See how much that took? About 2 seconds. That's all it took. Just a little provocation, and right away it's like, setting off a goddamn hot button. 567. I don't have a problem with anybody. I just have a problem with this audience today because they don't want to play the game today. They don't want to talk. I will read this whole goddamn book. This Paul Begala book is more interesting than hearing about the show that George did about Jews and Arabs again on Friday. I don't care about Jews and Arabs. Don't you understand? I don't care. And I might hasten to point out that the Jews aren't the one, except, of course, for the ones that killed Yitzhak Rabin. But they're not the ones that are terrorizing all over the rest of the world. Those are the slyball Arabs. So you see, we got problems on both sides, but George doesn't care about them. Like the plane that they just hijacked from Saudi Arabia over the weekend. And the USS Cole. What is it?
All they have to do is get out of their land.
It's all those evil Jews like that Bin Laden guy. Those are the ones causing all the problems. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. You see, since David Ben-Gurion, since those days when they blew up the goddamn hotel in Jerusalem, since those days, they've tried a different approach. See, you think that, see, this is the thing that cracks me up about George. He thinks that I care. I don't care. It's of not little consequence to me. It is of no consequence to me. None. Zero. If you gave me a free plane ticket on National Airlines with all the money I just lost in Vegas in cash and small bills, I still wouldn't go. No chance. 4 minutes till noon at 560 WQM.
Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami, Fort Lauderdale, a Beasley Broadcast Group station, and WQAM.com for the world.
Okay, 1201 at 560 WQM. Let's rehash all that stuff about the Middle East. What do you say? Let's talk about the Jews and the Arabs, and let's talk about Yitzhak Rabin, rest in peace, and let's talk about this one and that one, and all those other goyim over there, too. Let's not leave them out. Let's nod and say we did. What a surprise. A conflict in the Middle East between the Arabs and the Jews. Oh, wow, how the hell could that be going on again? Huh. 5670560, pound 560. Let me give you some important information. See, the stuff that I talk about is important, not worrying about stuff that doesn't affect your life. Olive oil, smearing on your feet. Come back from that weekend in Vegas. My skin is so dried out, it's like baklava. Yeah.
That's from Arab.
What do they call that stuff, the Greeks? What is that? Like phyllo dough? Phyllo?
Yeah, exactly.
Farnsworth? But anyway, so just cracking and dry and peeling, including my feet, which when you're diabetic, you don't want to have dry, cracked feet. Oh, no way, Jose. So last night I get home from the airport after walking through that deadly MIA. First thing I do is I smear olive oil on my feet, which are a mess, and I'm doing it again here. As I work, I've got, thanks to my good close friend Sal Falcone, this bottle of extra virgin Verolio olive oil from Italy, d'Italia. And when I'm thinking about it here, when I'm sitting right here in the studio doing the show, I smear it on my feet. And within no time at all the little skin tags and all that stuff vanish. It's like a freaking miracle. So don't say that I didn't tell you, okay? There's some useful advice, something that actually affects your life. It's like when we were talking about, which way do you wipe, frontwards, back. That has something to do with your real life. Not about, who's right, the Arabs or the goddamn Jews or the goddamn Arabs or whoever else. Here's North Miami. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Stop with that smearing on the feet. You're getting everybody crazy.
Yeah.
And stay out of that Hollywood Citadel gaming. The deals are all incompetent.
Yeah, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 877-785-6345. Audience has no material today. Here's a guy that was on hold when I was talking about the olive oil, and now this becomes his material. This becomes his material.
It's better what he had when he called.
He's smearing it on his rectum, probably in the olive oil, too. Here's a lady mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Listen, just first of all, I thought George's program was interesting in that it was sort of like the other side of the alien thing. It's like showed you another side, so I thought it was intelligent. I thought it was well done, but that's not what I called you about, though. I just wanted to, it didn't offend me in any way. So I want to talk to you about George Bush. What freaks me out about this is that the public perception is that this guy's a leader, and this guy is the guy that they trust to handle this.
Well, they ought to be reading Paul Begala's book because one of the first things he points out is that the governor in Texas, like many of the other states, the governor is largely a ceremonial role and really has almost no power.
But what scares me, Neil, is that we've watched these debates, and when I look at George Bush, he looks like Alfred E. Newman crossed with Ross Perot. I don't see what they're seeing when the way the media reports this. Maybe I just have a biased perception, but I just don't see this guy as a leader, and the fact that he...
Well, what makes you see Al Gore as a leader?
Well, let me tell you that. I know you don't like the guy, so...
No, let me...
I don't want to persuade you,
Let me clarify one thing.
Yeah.
Even though I will vote for him, I not only don't like him, I despise him. He gives me the creeps. He makes my skin crawl. In fact, I think my heels are starting to crack again.
Yeah.
I better start smearing the olive oil again.
Yeah, a little Vaseline. Well, let me tell you why I don't have to hold my nose as bad as you do. First of all, I know you and I like Bubba, and we would vote for him again if he could run. He has been involved in this administration for 8 years, and I really think that you and I have been twirled around by the Republican spin. This guy isn't...
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I sat there and I watched him, and just like I said last week, you sit there rooting for somebody. Come on, hit the home run now. At least hit a single. Do something. Say something meaningful. Smack him in the head. Show him up for the phony and dummy that he really is. And he just hasn't done it. And I'm telling you, just take this to the bank. If he doesn't knock him off his socks tomorrow night in that debate, Gore has got no chance.
Yeah, but I'll tell you he will, because this forum in the town hall meeting where Bush can't give his canned responses, I think that... But I just want to say one thing, because I'm going to run out. I want to just leave this with you. There's a film called The Contender, and all I want to say is there are a couple of speeches in there that I think every American should see before they vote. But I think tomorrow night, with the town hall setting where Bush is going to have to answer questions like that woman in Appleton, Minnesota, asked him why, she should vote for him, and he sort of went...
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. Keep the faith, Neil.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Do I have confidence that Gore is going to do what you just said that he's going to do tomorrow? Do I believe it?
No.
No. No, because that's their approach. No personal attacks. Well, why the hell not? You're running against a man that's a moron. This is what they should have been running on. Everything in Paul Begala's book. Is our children learning? Duh. Yeah. This should be required reading before anybody votes to find out what this man is really all about. In fact, and also what his running mate is all about, that Jew Lieberman made look like a reasonable guy. As Newt Gingrich says in here, Dick Cheney, let me get the direct quote. It said, Cheney's voting record was slightly more conservative than mine. That was Newt Gingrich's exact quote. It says, that's like being more pompous than Rush Limbaugh, like being more weird than Dennis Rodman, but it's true. Cheney was remarkably comfortable being on the losing end of some of the most lopsided votes. Of the 435 members of the House, many of them from very conservative districts, Cheney was frequently just one of just a dozen or two who staked out the kookiest of the kook-right positions. For example, in 1988, Cheney was one of only 4 members of the entire House of Representatives to oppose the Undetectable Firearms Act of 1988, which outlawed guns which are made with so little metal that they can defeat a metal detector. When he was asked to defend a vote that was so right-wing even the NRA didn't support it, Cheney's smart aleck response was, well, obviously I wasn't in the pocket of the NRA. How do you like that? Perhaps trying to suck up to that all-important cop killer vote, Cheney was one of only 21 House members to oppose a ban on armor-piercing cop killer bullets. And almost as inexplicably, he was one of just 31 congressmen to vote against funding programs to prevent family violence and provide shelter for the victims of family violence. And it goes on and on. His anti-kids votes, his anti-woman votes, right-wing extremists. And Jew Lieberman, because they're still talking, the talking heads, the same crap about, oh, that debate was the best. That was great because they were so civilized. And they were so polite. Yeah, that would be like having a tea party between Golda Meir and Adolf Hitler. Yeah, they shared a few crumpets. He had a little bit of matzah. She had some bratwurst. Everybody had a good time. Nobody got screaming. Nobody was angry. It was very civilized. He put on a schmata on his head. She was singing. She was drinking German beer out of a big stein. Yeah, it was wonderful. Like we're talking to goddamn, like I said last week, a freaking tea party instead of a presidential campaign. And these talking head assholes in the media, you're the ones responsible for brainwashing the public as if anybody who has the audacity to expose somebody else's virulent record, oh my God, they're going on the attack again. They must be bad. They're going back on their word. They're doing that attack thing again. Thank God I live in the Netherlands. 9 minutes after noon at 560 WQAM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Were you fudge packing? After years of drug abuse and controversial rehabilitation, Beach Boy Brian Wilson is ready to release a collection of his latest compositions.
Thanks for granting us this interview, Brian. Brian, do you have any idea how retarded you sound? I'll show you what I mean. Here's how you sounded back in '62 from this early Beach Boy recording session.
Hey, man. Did you like it? Yeah. My ears. Man, okay. Okay, wait. Listen. Okay. You like it?
Oh, that's very nice, Brian.
Did you like it?
Well, it's a little hard to dance to.
Do you like it?
Yeah, very nice, Brian.
The Brian Wilson collection of burned-out compositions.
Do you like it?
Oh yeah.
Master copy available now on eBay.
Do you like it?
Well, I've got to be going.
Do you like it?
Yeah. I'm not going to play it.
I like it. I like it.
12:15 at 5:06. Any more than I'm going to play over that spot again. Get that look on your face. Lieutenant Bush was too drunk to fly. Anybody out there care?
No.
No, he's an all-American man at George W. That was born with a silver spoon in his rectum, like every member of his family. My favorite thing in here is about let me see if I can find a line about the Texas Rangers. See, he was a failure in business, everything he did, and somehow parlayed that into millions and millions of dollars. And the more he failed, the more money he made. Incredible. Here it is. 1998, Bush, who is by now governor of Texas, and his partner sell the Texas Rangers, largely because of the value of the taxpayer-funded stadium and generous partners who increased Bush's share of the team from less than 2% to almost 12% without requiring to invest another dime. Bush makes a killing. His original $606,000 investment nets him a return of $14.9 million.
Only $50.
How do you like that? And it just goes on and on. I'll say it again. Every person in America should be forced to read at gunpoint this book, Is Our Children Learning, by Paul Begala, before they vote on Tuesday, November 7th. Dumb and dangerous. Here's a lady in Boca. Hello.
Hi, Neil. I have a couple comments to make while you're on the subject of education and children, which I'm really glad you're talking about. My big issue is, I have a couple questions and then I'll hang up. What is your opinion on school vouchers? The second thing is about Jeb Bush. Why is he not campaigning for his brother in the state of Florida? What's up with that?
Because he knows that everybody in the state of Florida is on to him, so the less he says, the better they are. They probably got him in a lockbox.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, because he's not that bright either.
No kidding.
And also, the third comment I wanted to make was, after the debates the other night...
Just say no to school vouchers.
Yeah, they suck.
Mm-hmm.
They really suck. And instead of fixing the school, they just want to break it apart.
Yeah, that's the final nail in the coffin.
Right. Now, and also, it totally caters to the religious right, which really infuriates me. But also what infuriates me more is, after the debate last week, they asked Tim Russert, because I watch NBC, what his opinion was of George W.'s performance.
Yeah.
And I got to say, maybe I'm stupid, but I felt like Gore adequately, he has no personality, but in terms of intelligence, he adequately answered the questions. And Russert just completely supported Bush's persona on TV, that he came across well.
He did.
He did, and what is wrong with these talking heads? Do they not have a brain?
Let me say it again. He did come across well. That's because Gore let him off the hook.
I don't think he did. He didn't answer any questions.
I'm sorry, but he did, and they had him programmed very well, and he came up with a great answer about education and social promotion and getting rid of it and how unfair it was to blacks and other minorities. They had him programmed real well, and Gore just left him standing there. He had 10 chances to knock him out, and he just let him stand.
Yeah, because Gore has no chutzpah.
Well,
that's the problem.
There you go.
But anyway, I just wanted to call and tell you and voice my issues. Thank you.
Okay, good luck to us.
All right.
I'll see you at the polls 3, 4, 5 times. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. See, everything's come down to cosmetics. Did Bush look okay? Did he look flustered? Was he drooling a lot this time? Was he huffing and puffing like the first debate? No, well, then he must have done pretty good. It wasn't that he did so good. It was that Gore never, ever really came on the attack. Just the one time. Backed him into a corner, was absolutely correct in those statistics about health care in the state of Texas. Also, I should point out, in the LA Times yesterday, which I read in the plane coming back from Vegas, on the front page, big story about Houston has now passed LA in terms of pollution. And in Paul Begala's book, he goes on at great length about all the money they have to spend, about they have days when athletes can't go out in Houston, high school athletes, and practice because the air quality is so bad. So he had him right there on the ropes. Okay, Al, here's your chance. Finish him off, baby. And then he just backed away back into his own corner again. Well, gee, I don't want to come across as being a bad guy, as being the attack dog here. golly shucks. He makes me nauseous. They could be running my little dog against Bush and beat him. But no, leave it to the Democrats. They come up with Al Gore. You can't complain about his personality because he doesn't have one. And Jew Lieberman. 2 words come to mind when I see him. Casper Milquetoast. Yeah. Well, I think we ought to have a very civilized discussion here tonight and debate the important issues, me and Dick. There's another guy. How come Joe Lieberman couldn't come up with all the stuff that's in Paul Begala's book here about Dick Cheney, some of which I just got through reading, and there's tons and tons and tons more here.
I'm sure he knows it all.
I mean, just the talking points, if they would have just gone down the list of talking points he's got in the end here, just in case they couldn't have somebody read the rest of the book to him, about how Bush will screw up the economy with his nearly $2 trillion of your surplus and tax breaks for the rich, and his threat to Social Security, which even his own advisors say his Social Security plan is guaranteed that benefits will be cut. And it goes on and on about health care and how he made Texas tops in air pollution because of all his friends in big business, and his claims for education improvements all came before him, Mark White and Ann Richards. He had nothing to do with any of the improvements in education in Texas. And the fact that he's in bed with the gun nuts and not coming clean about what he was doing with the war in Vietnam, received preferential treatment to get in the Texas Air National Guard, scored only in the 25th percentile in the pilot aptitude test, yet received the special commission to be a pilot despite a long waiting list. And his commanding officer says he failed to report for duty for an entire year. There's that missing year again in Alabama with a banjo on his knee and a bottle in his lips and up his nose. No, we don't want to go on the attack. See, I'd like to find out, just like I had a caller on Thursday who was talking to me about how Bush was a former alcoholic. Let me say it again to you, sir. No such thing as a former alcoholic, and you can ask any alcoholic, and they will tell you the honest answer is, once you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic. You can be a reformed alcoholic, which means that you're on a wagon.
One day at a time, sweet.
Yes, that's right. One step at a time, one schlep at a time. And I think that's an honest question to ask. Does America want somebody who's an alcoholic and has a substance abuse problem as their president?
No.
That's a legitimate question to ask. Here's a mobile in Big Pine Key. Hello.
Hi, Neil. I hate to do this. You're on a roll politically. Can I change the subject?
Go ahead, whatever you want.
Neil, I'm probably one of your biggest fans. I must say, I live in Tampa, and I've always been a big fan. And I come down to South Florida a couple times a month to do some business, and I must tell you, what a long summer. Please don't take the summer off again.
I've taken it off every year.
I do appreciate it. George was okay, but
George is okay, but he's an anti-Semite.
I missed your wisdom throughout the summer. I just want to say that.
Well, George is wise about things that he cares about. Like
First of the week call, Neil. I got no material. I just wanted to tell you that.
Okay, George doesn't care. See ya.
Thanks.
Yeah, he don't care. He's used to it by now. He's got that tough, that Cuban skin now. He can take all the crap, all the shots. And I'm taking summer off again next year, and the year after that, and whenever the hell I want to take it off. If they're going to pay me to be gone all summer, I'll be glad to do it. I mean, that's a hell of a deal, I think. And next time, I'm not even going to fall down and break any bones. How do you like that? Bye! Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Neil. Move to Amsterdam now. Get out of here. Remember that call? Never forget him. And so I did. But just to piss that kid off, I came back. Plus, of course, I got to make back all the money I'm losing with my stockbroker, Mitch Hirsch, and all the money I lost in Vegas this weekend. See, that's the thing. Even though I got pummeled in Vegas this weekend, it's a drop in the bucket compared to what Mitch Hirsch is costing me. Not to mention those great stock tips I get from Rimmer's brother-in-law. Yeah, his brother-in-law, who had a long talk with an Arab sheik in a dream one night after a bad drunk. He had a dream, like Martin Luther King. Well, see, you got to say that today because it's the Million Family Marches going on now. Well, and you know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing they're all marching to Bojangles is what I'm hearing. That's the rumor. Maybe that's why they... And did you notice when Alonzo had his press conference this morning, they said that this is a commonplace thing in black people? this kidney ailment? You didn't hear that? In other words, you weren't paying any attention to it?
None whatsoever.
See, there you go. Not only is he an anti-Semite, he don't like blacks, he don't like fags.
I was playing close attention
all he
to
likes
Dr.
is his own people. Old Cubans with green teeth. That's what he likes. See. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Contrary to the other caller, I think George's show on Friday was superb. In fact, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
You said once that George had a lot of knowledge about history and world events and stuff like that, but
a lot of useless
I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah.
Man, it was unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
The situation with George Bush and Gore, like you said, I think you're correct because I think his people, Gore's people, told him not to get too hard because
that's their strategy.
Because of the polls.
Uh-huh.
But somehow
They
it
said,
backfired.
look what happened to Bubba. He got real hard, and look what happened to him. It blew up in his face.
Squirt.
Yeah, so to speak.
But that's all I got. And as far as George's show, I think it was the best I've ever heard. In fact, I think it's in the top 5.
The best show you ever heard in your life.
In the top 5 of all your shows.
Woo!
It was that good.
You know something? If George has gotten that good, I'm thinking, why just take the summer off, you know? Huh? What do you say? Let's take a poll on that tomorrow. Let George do the show, and I'll just take the paychecks. What's wrong with that?
Well, it could work.
What do you say?
It could work. Well, if George will do it for free.
Well, no, they'll throw him a couple of bones. What do you say? Yes or no? Come on, you're the first vote.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. There you go. There's our first vote. I'm leaving. All right. Yes. George did such a good job on Friday. He won over even the people that hated him like poison. They loved it. God, it must have been tremendous. Thank God I wasn't here to hear it about all those Jews and Arabs. 26th afternoon at 5:60. See, you're getting all these anti-Semites out now. That's what this is. Yeah, he was picking on those.
This is payback for that whole Elion thing.
Yeah. Oh, is he Jewish?
Ray Whitney has a pair.
George Jorge Rodriguez, big producer guy. He's uncircumcised. George Jorge Rodriguez, cryptic son of a bitch. Don't give him no shit. The boss like Neil, he's got a great deal, free food and a brand new set of wheels. If you got the balls to give him a call, just remember that he won't take your crap. He's George Jorge Rodriguez, clean as he can be. You won't find no cheese. Don't give him no.
UAM, what do you want?
George Jorge Rodriguez, cryptic son of a bitch.
All right, I'm pleased to know that George is finally. See, during the summertime they gave him a lot of crap and they kept him off balance. But this thing came up by taking the. See, they wanted me to take off Yom Kippur, and I said no way because they got a hockey game on that Monday. Why take off a day when I'm only going to be on 3 hours when I can take off a day like Friday when I'm taking a whole 4 hours off? Pretty good thinking, Neil. Because anybody knows about taking time off, I've learned that real well. It's the one thing I've learned. But now that he just sneaked in there on Friday, this spectacular show, and I'm thinking, 52 weeks of vacation a year sounds pretty good to me, paid. Huh? Starting tomorrow. I tell you, that Martin Scare, they got flights every day of the week. Sounds excellent. So here's George. Oh, and here's somebody just faxed me this that I think George would really enjoy reading about Joe Lieberman, Israel and the racial double standard, and about how they pick on the Arabs over there, and they're like second-class citizens. Americans should see the charge of anti-Semitism for what it is, it says, an ideological battering ram used to silence any and all rational criticism of organized Jewry and its power and hypocrisy.
Jewelry? Is that like jewelry?
Jewelry. Kind of parroting the kind of propaganda that George was spreading here on Friday that you all seem so enamored with. Guess what this is from, this article? The David Duke Report.
Oh, my buddy.
Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
First time caller, long time listener. I got a couple of things I want to talk to you about. First of all, it's your buddies at Hirsch Arnold. You know what the football touts are, right? You got that Jim Feist out there that's saying he's 72%.
Right. Uh-huh.
Well, why doesn't Mitch Hirsch of the Hirsch Arnold team ever tell you what they do? instead of telling you what the stock market's doing. I'd like to know what they do.
Oh, I can tell you what they do. They're losing my money faster than the U.S. government can print it.
No, but don't you think that, you know, they make their money on sales and buys. When you buy, they make money. When you sell, they make money. But that's all they are is a bunch of whores. Because all they do is want to make money buying and selling. That's the first issue. You don't need a full-service broker. You need to take your paperwork into your own hands. But the second issue I got is with the presidential race.
Yes, sir?
I would like to, I don't know what the rest of this country wants, but I'd like to have a president that has a pair of balls. And between those two presidents, they don't have a pair of balls.
No, they're a couple of old smoothies, if you ask me.
Right. So, I mean, what if this country ever has to go to war? Can you imagine?
Yeah,
W
would be too drunk to, and of course, Al would be asking about the etiquette of the whole deal, yeah.
Exactly. That's all I got.
Okay, good luck to us, pal.
Yep.
Crawl under that desk, just like back in the 50s again with that nuclear fallout. Crawl under the desk, kids. You'll be okay. You'll be safe from that mushroom cloud. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. George will be here tomorrow. What are you going to be talking about tomorrow?
I don't know, Jews.
Bashing Jews again. In fact, that's going to be, it went over so big on Friday, that's going to be George's show every day. He's going to pick on the Jews.
Boy!
All right. Except his accountant.
And my doctor.
Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How are you, man?
All right.
Listen, I don't know if you've seen this before, but I caught it last night. It's a Milky Way commercial. Have you seen it?
No.
It's a guy's getting ready to eat a Milky Way, and then over his shoulder, the donkey pops up, and the elephant pops on the other shoulder. And the elephant's talking about, I want to be a president like my daddy because I look like my daddy.
Uh-huh.
And it's just the funniest thing. It's just,
somebody already talked about it.
The whole thing, his whole criteria is that he wants to do everything his daddy did. And be just like his daddy. And then towards the end of the commercial, the guy says, well, I wear pants like my daddy. And then the donkey turns and goes, I invented pants. It's funny as hell. I guess you got to be there.
Love those Milky Ways, man.
It was a great commercial. I thought it was very funny. Second thing about Dick Cheney. Somebody should come up with a rap like Slim Shady.
Mm-hmm.
The guitar man, whoever, it's like, I'm the real Dick Cheney, I'm the real Shady. It should be good.
Not bad.
And also, and this is true. Never fear, in the summer, George is here, and I'll talk about sex and ass while the fag is not here. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. So I guess that was the yes vote for George.
Oh!
What?
You've got them all in a panic now.
About what?
You're not going to be here tomorrow.
I'm not. You're going to be here tomorrow. No, seriously, I mean, look, put yourself in my shoes. Why would you want to come in here? And I'm begging for calls today because it's Monday and because they like your show so much on Friday. They'd probably rather hear Jews and Arabs Part 2 today than hear me sitting here, whatever. I'm just incoherent, especially after that damn press conference. Kind of threw me an old fart like me. I'm not used to that. I like orderly. I come in and have an idea of what I'm going to do, and then all of a sudden they throw you for a loop, and an old fart like me can't recover from that. I just can't bounce back the way I used to 100 years ago. Like, what do I do now? But when George is here talking about the goddamn Middle East every day, I guarantee we can work this down to up to a big number. Yeah. You ain't seen nothing yet. You thought that Waffen has got big numbers, huh? Here's Miami Shores. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
1973, Dick Cheney in Northwestern University. 1973, the Vietnam draft ends. Right when it ends, he quits. Done with school.
Uh-huh.
Dodge drafter.
Dodge drafter.
Whatever.
Gotcha. He's a Dodge drafter. Oh! God damn it. Cheney was one of only 12 House members to vote against the Older Americans Act amendments of 1984, which provided nutrition and support services for elderly people. He also voted against funding it 3 years after that. Cheney backed raising the normal Social Security retirement age from 65 to 67. In 1985, he was one of only 39 members of the House who backed a budget that limited cost of living adjustments for Social Security to 2% annually for 3 years. And it goes on and on and on and on. But, of course, Drew Lieberman, he couldn't come up with any of those things because he wanted to have a civilized discussion there and see how wimpy he could sound. Oh, that was just wonderful. That's the kind of dialogue, verbal give and take. Yeah, right. Take a good crap, because that's what it was. Pure, unadulterated crap. You could take the first two presidential debates and that vice presidential charade, that ass suck, that mutual ass sucking thing there. You could take all three of them, put them together, and you haven't got, even a medium-sized pile of dog crap like Dr. Laura had on her floor. Yeah, that's what her show has come to now. Dog crap. Had to see the end of that on Channel 10. Do I ever listen or watch that bitch? No. Never. But I had to see the end of her show on Channel 10 this morning because I was instructed. We got this special arrangement with Channel 10 where we can put their audio on. Well, guess what?
Who were murdered at
There's Alan Jushowitz.
Personal insistence, but the PLO has never permitted any kind of an investigation. Suddenly they want...
Yeah, and that's on CNN. How do you like that? I just put their audio. Do we have a special arrangement with CNN? No. I just stuck their audio on the air if they don't like it, okay? Tell Ted Turner to take a goddamn blueberry enema if you don't like it. Alan Jushowitz, all this hawking at the Middle East. You know something, all you people, including George, wasting your energy and time. You've been better off to bring your bong in here on Friday.
Who's to say I didn't?
Well, like I said, maybe that's why the show was so good.
Smoking.
God. Oh, it's the Arabs and the Jews. 5,000 years they've been killing each other. It's the same crap over a stinking piece of desert. And I'll say it one more time for the 5 millionth time. The only piece of desert worth fighting about is the one that I just came back from, and you can have that too. Gets a little ponderous. But you do notice it was the Italians and the Jews that got that thing going too. That's right. Birds of a feather. Let's bring back the old crowd. That's what we need here. Bugsy Siegel, Hyman Roth, a.k.a. Meyer Lansky. Let's bring the old Jews back. Oh! I see Joe Stone Crabs open again last night. A lot of plastic assholes eat at Joe Stone Crabs, you know?
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Oh, Alonzo, you're so big.
We now join two sperm.
Ooh, I'm tired. How much longer to the egg? The egg? First, we gotta get to the uterus. How far is that? Well, Pally, we got a ways to go. First, we gotta go past the esophagus.
1244 at 560 WQM. So George W., who, of course, is right up there with Dan Quayle, showing his brilliance about foreign affairs, says on June 22nd of last year to a Slovak journalist, the only thing I know about Slovakia is what I learned firsthand from your foreign minister who came to Texas. Bush had, in fact, met with the Prime Minister of Slovenia, not the Foreign Minister of Slovakia. But at least he got some of the letters right. Oh! All right.
One Slav, another Slav.
Right. He says, keep good relations with the Grecians. Good for your hair.
Or your urns.
If the East Timorians decide to revolt, he says, I'm sure I'll have a statement.
Say that one again?
If the East Timorians decide to revolt, I'm sure I'll have a statement. He says the key to foreign policy is to rely on reliance. He says there is madmen in the world and there are terror. And see, it's all documented. Associated Press, February 16th, 2000. On and on and on it goes. 5670560, pound 560. See, this is what I find very disturbing. I know we got a lot of really dumb people in this country. I mean, if I had $1 for each one, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be out of here today instead of tomorrow when George is going to be on. But how could anybody with any self-respect, I mean, no matter how plastic and how phony and how full of crap and how exaggerating, Al Gore, all of these things, which he is, how could anybody bring him or her or itself to cast a vote for somebody this dumb? I mean, we've had Gerald Ford. He was pretty damn dumb. We had Eisenhower, who was borderline illiterate, a great general, but borderline illiterate. But here's a man who wraps them all up into one unbelievably dumb bundle. And yet, there he is. He's 3 points ahead today. He's 4 points ahead tomorrow. We like dumb. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how are we doing today?
All right.
I just want to say George did have a wonderful show.
That's what I'm hearing. I hear he's got part 2 all lined up for tomorrow. What do you think?
I think he's trying to take over.
Good.
So, lucky you, huh?
I'll give you the address.
Actually, listen, a friend of mine and myself went out and got some 2 CDs of yours.
Right.
And I have to say congratulations. It's very, very funny.
It is good. That's because George put it together this year.
Yeah, it's definitely a very
he's
good
moving
CD.
right on in.
I just want to say he never paid me for the CD, so I wanted to be able to call him and ask today.
Okay.
I'd like to say, Steve, you need to pay me my money because you're one hell of an asshole.
Okay.
Thanks.
Amen. Steve, you're an asshole, he said, and who are we to argue?
He's an asshole.
That's what the guy just said. Put up or shut up. Maybe Steve is doing it the Beasley way. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Hike. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. We got Hank is going to be at Chula's today. Nat Moore will be with Hank between 5 and 6. This is the same Hank who was here on Thursday telling me that Alonzo was the most significant human being on the face of the earth. Isn't that what Hank said?
It turns out he was right.
He said he was the most significant sportster that he's ever heard of in his life. And I thought, well, whatever. Kim Bocamper is 6 till 8:15. We got all kinds of stuff tonight, baby. 8:15. Cardinals at the Mets as the Cardinals are gasping for oxygen. And after that is all over, we'll have the ass end of the Jaguar-Titan game, which ought to be a pretty damn good Monday Night Football game. Then, of course, the Maple Leafs at Vancouver tonight. Anybody else going to be watching that?
No.
I will. Here's Margate. Hello.
Yeah, George's show Friday was great.
Yeah.
It was great because he had this guest on, and she was terrific. And he
Well, we already heard that.
What?
We already heard that.
Yeah, well, she was terrific.
Well, wait a minute. You had a guest in the studio?
Yeah, she's in-house.
You had a guest in the studio?
She was handy.
Oh, my God. Here I thought he did a great show by himself. So, in other words, he had somebody in the studio.
No, he had somebody on who knew what she was talking about.
Oh, well, I knew it couldn't have been him.
No, when George talks about foreign policy, he sounds like George W.
No, he don't sound like George W. He sounds like Heinrich Himmler.
Oh, yeah, it's like compassionate Nazism.
Right. Now you're talking. Like, you're right, like George W.
Yeah. But otherwise, I'm hoping that the show tomorrow won't suck.
Oh, it'll be great. See, you got these people all nervous now by not telling them the truth. George is taking over the show. I'm still getting paid. The management doesn't know this yet either, and Bluff sure as hell don't know it. What difference does it make? They don't care as long as there's something like that, like a little sound on the ear. One thing I've learned all through the years, these people aren't any different from anybody else. As long as there's something on the ear, that's all they care about. Of course, they expect the ratings to stay up there and the revenue to keep coming in, but what do they know? They figure that'll happen anyway by osmosis. Like that. In fact, you can take that right now. Just take that off the tape and we'll play that 4 hours tomorrow. Still get a 90 share. And we'll probably get people calling on Wednesday saying, hey, can we hear that? Can we hear that again? That was pretty good. There you go. I kind of enjoy doing that. Although I don't like getting that close to that microphone because God only knows what kind of crap is on there.
Your food particles.
It's true. All the force feeding of food that goes on. Now, see, some of the salespeople, they got a little bit of brains. Or forget the salespeople. It's got nothing to do with them. It's our own food we get in here. How much talent does it take? How distracting is it while you're pretending to be listening to these callers to eat a little topping from the pizza or a little something that's soft? But expecting somebody, especially with a bum hand, to be carving a steak and pork chops with a fork and a knife, and not only that, it wasn't even a real knife. It was like a butter knife. See, I needed a butter knife when I had the cast-on, moron, Peter Leonard, you idiot. When I need a real knife to help me cut, you can't do all of that stuff. If they would have just brought the veal and the pasta, a little bit of that pasta. The pasta was great. And not brought the 25 desserts that sent my blood sugar skyrocketing and made me sick to my... That's probably why my feet are all like, with those tags on them like that. Skin tags. It's kind of like the body tag I'm going to have on me in a box if he keeps bringing that crap in here. You're out, Peter Leonard. You're done. We took a vote. You're out. You're dead meat. Here's North Miami Beach. Hello. North Miami Beach.
North Miami Beach. How you doing? Great show, Neil.
Are you in North Miami Beach or just Miami Beach?
North Miami Beach.
Oh, it's getting darker by the minute.
You got to take you national.
Yeah.
I got two things to
well,
say.
but then George would have to do it because I'm not going to be here. I'm out. I'm out.
I don't blame you.
I'm going to start looking around the building to find some interesting guests who know what they're talking about. I'm going to bring Tommy in here to talk about drugs.
Hey, I sold a lot of drugs to all those Yaleys up in New Haven years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure he was one of them.
You know it, skull and bone.
Nose.
It's that all these neo-Nazis running for president,
Mm-hmm.
you know, George and Dick, I don't know why they don't go into diamond business. Take a little piece of coal in their tight asses, 10 minutes, they'd have diamonds. They could retire.
You're right.
You know?
You're absolutely right.
But the Cheney is the one that really scares me, you know? And all I can say is, Dick Cheney before he dicks us.
Okay.
That's it.
And don't forget, he put the wreck in record. That's what Paul Begala says. More conservative than Newt Gingrich, faster than a speeding bullet. piercing to the hearts of even the most heartless of all. I could read this whole thing, but that would be terminal. I don't like reading that much on the air. But it's great. You really ought to go out and get this book. It's a very small book, and you'll say, geez, $12 for that? But it's well worth it. It's well worth $100. Is Our Children Learning? And there's a picture of W on the front cover, The Case Against George W. Bush by Paul Begala. In fact, I don't know why Gore and Lieberman during the debate didn't just hold this book up in the air instead of saying anything. They should have said, just turn to page 28 in this book. That's all. That's my response. Would have been better than the job they did, especially that freaking Jew Lieberman. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
What I'd like to know is, where's all this liberal media? Because how long did we hear about the $100,000 Hillary made on futures?
Yeah.
But, you know, Bush makes this $15 million by basically putting in $20.
I guess you haven't been watching Chris Matthews and George Will.
Yeah, the liberal
and
media,
Bob Novak and Roland Evans.
Yeah.
And John McLaughlin.
I mean, I don't
see the entire Fox News network.
I don't see it. I don't see it myself. There is no liberal media.
No. And then Tim Russert is who everybody knows. Tim Russert is a Democratic henchman and always has been. So now he's bending over backward to try to, with the appearance that he's not partisan. So now he's like attacking all the Democrats and try to become Mr. Down the Middle.
Right, and you know, I think that's part of it, because what did they talk about after the debate? It was about whose side and who rolled their eyes. It wasn't the issue.
And I guarantee you that millions of Americans were sighing and rolling their eyes the whole time.
Really?
I know I was.
Just one more thing about Bush. He does not drink to this day, which tells you he still has a problem because he's afraid to take that first
Well,
drink.
alcohol, I'm going to say it again. I'm not saying this about him in particular, but just generally speaking, it happens to be true. An alcoholic is an alcoholic for life.
Right.
And when the pressure started, if he were there in the White House and the pressure started getting... In fact, look at the fact Daddy, all he had to do was have a little bit of wine and some sushi. He was puking his guts out.
Right. But Bush is going to appoint all these smart guys.
Yeah. Like Pat Robertson.
Right.
Pat Buchanan.
Yeah.
Good luck to us, pal.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bye.
5670560. Maybe Pat from accounting downstairs, Pat Considine. Anybody named Pat? Yeah, give you a little pat on the cheek. Rectum. It's kind of that Texas good old boy football kind of thing, they do at the barbecues. And speaking, I just Haitian to mention this. Did he say Haitian? Wow. Picking on them Haitians again? I hasten to point out to you that, speaking of the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, that his brother is just the same. The whole family are a bunch of arrogant, elitist, obnoxious, dumb, and his brother one of the worst. People would say, oh, well, Jeb seems more reasonable. My fat ass he does. Him and the crowd of people that support him. They used to sit at the Marlin games in those first few years when I was going to the ball games when we were at IOD. Did you have any idea where our seats were right along the founders' boxes there? Head mingled. Well, anyway, him and his whole crowd used to sit. In fact, he was there one night. That was before he became Governor, Jeb, when he was just a loser. The most obnoxious, the most disgusting, and of course a lot of your people too, a lot of your ultra-right-wing Cuban amigos, surrounded himself with the worst scum on the face of the earth. That's Jeb Bush. Makes Attila the Hun seem like a raving liberal. So don't kid yourself. So the whole bunch of them. In fact, Daddy was the only one who seemed like a moderate, and he wasn't all that great either. But he seemed like a moderate compared to the rest of these guys. That's probably because they got to him in the Trilateral Commission, and the Bilderbergers, and the Illuminati. 1256 at 560. I love the Illuminati. Doesn't it have a great sound of it? Sounds real Italian to me. I mean, the Bilderbergers, that sounds like the Tremens. Or Jews. German Jews. There's a couple left. Now, what was the name of the Battenberg? That was the name. The Windsors, the House of Windsor, the Brits, who turned out, see, this is the deal. It turns out there's Germans hiding everywhere. I bet you George isn't even Cuban when you come right down to it. In fact, I saw him at Godfather's the other day, which happens to be in a Hess gas station. How's Rudolph doing? We have those.
Oh, boy. It's the 1 to 2 hour.
Bye. You're gay.
I'm doing her, that's right, just about every day and night, 'cause Britney's young and tight. Hey, baby, come on. I waited endlessly. She finally gave it to me. Now, just like in her songs, I can hear her moan. I've been dating her since we were 4. It ain't no lie. I was the first to go through that door. It's come by. It's about time everybody knew. We're doing it like bunnies for a year or two. I hate to tell you her virginity has come by. The sweetest cherries are so young and pink. I thank God every day that I am within sync. I hate to tell you her virginity has come by. Yay.
102 at 560 WQAM. Happy Monday to you. Here's our poll so far, the biggest obstacle facing blacks in America. And I asked this question because today is the Million Family March. Biggest problem, the biggest obstacle to overcome is bigotry. 20 people said that out of 231. Lack of education and job skills, 85. Lack of responsibility, 126.
Boy!
How do you like that? So in other words, maybe they're saying, look in the mirror. See, I've come up with something great now today. I never realized it would be such a momentous day in my life. Now that you finally admit it. See, first I thought it was some woman you had on the phone, the way you were talking earlier on Friday. Now come to find out you had somebody in the studio, you had a guest on with you during the show.
A part of it, the beginning part.
Yeah.
Like the first hour.
Well, so obviously the audience is foaming at the mouth. The greatest show ever. I've been on the air here for 25 years, and George, with this Israeli broad or whoever the hell she was on Friday.
Israeli broad,
Israeli. Yeah. Best show in the history of the Neil Rogers Show, and I wasn't even here for it. What do you say to that?
Oh!
So it's time to bring back the guests. Time to go back to that tried and true, that old stale stuff from the past. Let's bring the guests back. Let's get a few more guest microphones in here. What do you say? Yeah, we can bring back the rabbis, and we can have the ministers. We can get the nutrition people on here and the chiropractors. Hello, doctor, I have blue lips. We can go back to those days. What do you say?
Oh!
Yeah, that's what the audience wants. We go through these cycles, and they've heard enough of my crap here already with this and all the fag stuff and that fag music I'm playing all the time. Yeah, like that, Nick. Number 2 album in the world, I should mention, Revelation by 98 Degrees. I just thought I'd mention that. First week on the chart, it's number 2.
Oh!
If you buy one album in your life and you have any taste, which of course most of you don't, but if you did, Revelation by 98 Degrees, which George I'm sure would hate, like Poison, which shows you it's got to be good. Oh, that's right. Your taste was bad before you got good. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
I wonder if you could briefly explain the Electoral College to me. There was an article in the paper.
It's right between Ann Arbor and East Lansing, right between
There was an article in the
Michigan
paper
State.
today about it. I'm more confused than ever.
What is there to be confused about?
What's the point in us voting? We don't...
Well, because it's an anachronism. Do you understand what that means?
No.
It's out of date. It's like white bucks. Remember white bucks?
Yeah.
Well, that's what the Electoral College is like.
Well, it sucks.
Amen. There you go. So you know a lot more than you thought you did.
Bye.
Okay. That means if you live in a little small state like Delaware or Vermont or some little puny state like that, then your vote is worth almost nothing. But if you live in a big state like New York or Texas or California, then your vote means a lot. Because then if the state's vote was won by one popular vote, then a whole bunch of electoral votes are going to go to that candidate. But if somebody won Vermont by one vote or Delaware, who the hell gives a crap? So it's totally unfair. It's totally inequitable. It goes to show you that we're stuck in it's like the same people with the Bible and it's crap from 5,000 years ago. The same thing. We're locked in a Stone Age. Hey, but all this other stuff, look at this. We even send men to the moon now, and we can turn on the radio and the TV and see a bunch of ugly people. Look at that. It's great. Yeah, but the Bible says, and the Constitution, the framers of the Constitution said, well, that's because, generally speaking, they figured that the people were morons. So like I said, maybe the Electoral College isn't such a bad idea after all. Well, they didn't have CNN or Fox News in those days, see? Or softball with Chris Matthews. Speaking of the liberal press. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me on your program.
Thanks for being on our program.
Shook up a little bit. We're playing a church
basketball league, and we're calling an emergency meeting this afternoon at 1 o'clock regarding the Alonzo Mourning thing. I just don't know, with this accusation of Eddie Jones and Grant, how we can take it to the next level without him. And it's just really heartbreaking for us.
Yeah.
The name of our team's Feel the Heat. And, we look up.
Yeah, and then, of course, there are those who pack the heat.
Yeah, well.
Like George W.
But anyway, the only thing we can do is have our meeting and pray that he can get through.
Okay, well, get on your knees, pal, and see what happens, see what pops up. 5670560, pound 560. It's just like those football games. I'm going to say it again. We were talking yesterday about the quarterback for Jacksonville. What the hell's his name? Mark, what is his name? See, out of sight, out of mind. I can't even think of his name, Brunel. And he's been fumbling the snap from center, and they were showing on the pregame on the NFL today about what he was doing with the ball and how he was grabbing it. He was grabbing the center's balls. And I'll say it again, as long as you don't pay any attention to that, you can continue with this brainwash business about what a macho sport that is. It's the faggiest sport in the history of mankind, football. Make no mistake about it. I'll say it for the 8 millionth time. What do you call it when a guy comes up behind another guy who's bent down on his hands and knees and puts his hand under his ass? What do you call that?
That's a gay club, you moron.
Yeah, now you're getting close. You're getting warm. Puts his hand under his ass and has to hold him just in a certain way, and he pushes a ball back into his hand. Huh? Just one. He pushes his pigskin back into his hand. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. It is. It's a faggy sport. I hate to burst your bubble because I know that's all you care about, most of you, all you supposed sports fans. It's a fag sport. Hockey's a sport for real men just like me. And if you don't want to take it from me, you take it from about the most virile man we got in the whole building, and that's the Mad Dog. Which evidently somebody potskied around with this thing. It was me. That's okay. He'll be back. 8 minutes after 1 at 560 WQM.
Hey, the real question is, what locker room shower are you going to most likely be at?
Which one would you like me to be in?
Well, have you been in the shower at the Panthers?
Those are real men.
When this quarterback gets lonely, he likes receivers that are wide.
Okay.
Some people say that number 8 is gay.
All right.
They say Troy loves the big brown-eyed Aikman. He goes down on his knees, Aikman. It's guys he likes to please, Aikman. He loves to slap cowboys on their behind.
Rectums.
He's got a spotless reputation. America's team is world-renowned. But is Troy gay? I've heard some people say. Yeah. In the huddle he goes down. Aikman. He goes down on his knees, Aikman. I can some balls to squeeze, Aikman. Don't flip him 'cause he likes it from behind.
Okay, that's something we're asking the audience today. Can't ask about Macho, Cordell Hull or Cordell Stewart or Warren Hull or Bobby Hull or Brett Hull. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. How's that poll doing? 246 votes. Biggest obstacle facing blacks in America today is bigotry, 22. Lack of education and job skills, 89. Lack of responsibility, 135.
Boy!
In other words, get with the program. Here's Hallandale. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, first-time caller. I did want to say something while it's on mine. You're talking about the Electoral College. For that lady who was asking what the reason was for her vote, this is one of the biggest states, so, the popular vote does affect the Electoral College, so everybody should get out there and vote.
The Electoral College?
The what?
The Electoral College?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So everybody should get out there and vote because we do have 25 electoral votes.
Well, I'm not saying that we shouldn't vote. Of course we should, because this is a swing state. This and Michigan are probably the two biggest at the moment. But the point is that it's the electoral colleges, and you know something. This could be the year, just like when they sneaked Rutherford B. Hayes in there, even though he lost the election. This could be the year that it happens again.
Yeah. But I do agree with you about Gore. But you did have one caller that I wanted to mention. They were talking about on Middle East affairs. Either one of them has no balls. I think that Gore has a lot more experience to deal with the situation. Did you see Bush when the whole Israeli thing started and the comment that he made? And in his eyes, you could see he was scared to death, man. He has no idea what he's talking about. He's been fed...
Well, he admits that he doesn't know where Kosovo is. In fact, if I go back into my book again, I probably won't be able to find it in time. But he admits he doesn't even know where Kosovo is on the map. He said, will somebody please show me? I don't know where to find it on the map. He's proud of these things.
Yeah. I mean, the guy is being fed. He's got a great campaign staff. I think Gore's handcuffed himself from that first debate because he was making all the size and the thing, and everybody thought that was terrible. So last time he had to be Mr. Nice Guy and come off beautiful. But this is all about, he's not a campaigner, but he'll be a good president, and Bush has no idea what's going on. You put him in there, he's going to be lost. 6 years in Texas.
No, we're going to be lost.
Oh, yeah, that's for sure. I got one more thing for you before I go. There's a great site out there, AMMI.org, and they show all the campaign commercials from 52 to 2000.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what you see when you watch these things and what these people have promised to do. And like Nixon, that SOB had great campaign staff. His commercials were fantastic. And what did he do? So, I mean, people shouldn't get caught up in the superficial here. Look at Gore's experience and what he's been in the House, Congress. He's been on the Arms Committee. The man knows his stuff. I mean, we need to get out there and put him in office because Bush is going to really destroy us.
Maybe we can find him a personality before tomorrow night.
Well, that would be really helpful.
Okay, organize the search party.
All right, thanks.
Okay.
Man. Bye.
March 24th, 1999, President Clinton launched airstrikes against Serbian leader Slobodan Milosevic to stop the practice of ethnic cleansing in the former Yugoslavian province of Kosovo. Fully 2 weeks after the military engagement began, Bush was asked his position on Kosovo, the first large-scale NATO fighting in history. He said, I support winning, and the strategy America must be slow to engage militarily, but once we engage, we must do so to win. Did you get that? W is for winning, which I suppose that's better for being for losing. And it gets worse. 4 months after his I support winning comment, and 5 months after the massive airstrikes had begun, Bush still had to admit to a reporter he didn't know where Kosovo was. I do need somebody to tell me where Kosovo is, he said. I know how to ask. Bush's dangerous ignorance seems to know no borders. Consider the following examples. After flailing around trying to remember the name of the general who had initiated a coup in this nuclear-armed country of Pakistan, Bush said the coup, which overthrew a democratically elected government, was good news for the subcontinent because it would bring stability to the country. As the oldest constitutional democracy in the world, the United States of America is not in the habit of praising military coups overthrowing freely elected civilian authority. In the Middle East, Bush declared that he intends to stand by Israel. We're not going to allow Israel to be pushed into the Red Sea, he said. A neat trick given the fact that Israel borders the Mediterranean and barely touches the Red Sea. Bush went on to extol the virtues of what he called interballistic missile system that intercepts missiles, but there's no such thing as an interballistic missile. Even as he was cramming for his major foreign policy address in late 1999, Bush demonstrated staggering, embarrassing, avert-your-eyes ignorance. Reading from his own speech in an interview, Bush declared that the United States should take action in Chechnya if the Russian government attacks innocent women and children. When asked if that was in fact happening now, Bush was clueless. Bush shouted to a foreign policy advisor, "They are attacking women and children, aren't they?" Then he returned to the phone and declared, "Condi Rice is shaking her head in agreement." "No, you dope, she's shaking her head in amazement that such a doofus could be a serious contender for the presidency. Besides, don't folks nod their heads in agreement and shake their heads in disagreement?" Bush darn near committed us to war with the largest country in the world as far as China is concerned. In an interview with a conservative columnist, Cal Thomas, Bush was asked if the U.S. should commit a military power to prevent the People's Republic of China from forcibly taking Taiwan. "Yes," he replied bluntly. When what you're asking is, should we honor the defense pact with Taiwan? And the answer is yes. Ever since Nixon, American policymakers have followed what's called strategic ambivalence about our response to a Chinese attack on Taiwan, never directly saying it would mean war, never directly saying it wouldn't. The ambivalence has kept the Chinese off balance and on the mainland for over 30 years. Bush blew it in less than 30 seconds. Bush later called Thomas back and tried to unscramble the eggs, saying, it's important that all disputes over Taiwan and China be settled peacefully. The one China policy has worked, allowing Taiwan to grow and maintain a strong market economy, which is a good example to Beijing. And it goes on and on and on, and everybody ought to be reading this book and spreading it out and handing it out on street corners. Is Our Children Learning by Paul Begala. All very well documented, regardless of Begala's politics, etc. and so on. In addition to which, Begala's from Texas and knew Bush in Texas and personally liked him until he found out what a moron he was. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello. Neil, you know your station? 4 of the shows of every day are hosted by Jews.
Yeah.
Kaplan.
Yeah.
Goldberg.
Yeah.
You and Goldie.
Yeah. Defoe. How about Defoe?
How many Jews are behind the woodworks over there?
None. We don't have any. Only on the air. No Jews allowed in management. That's why the company's so bad. 567. Okay, that was a call. George called out. I saw him go calling out on that line to get that guy in here. No, I saw it. During the last commercial break, I wonder who he was calling out, and he called out, wherever these guys hang out together and have their meetings.
Wouldn't you like to know?
No. I'll pass. I'll take a pass on that. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir?
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
About George W. Bush. I mean, you're calling him an idiot, and you're right, he is an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
But Al Gore's just as big an idiot as he is.
Yeah, okay, great. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir?
Can we hear again?
Hear what?
The
Yeah, uh-huh. 5670560, pound 560. Well, they want that Israeli woman back again, then we'll get some good calls. They want her back again. In fact, she's getting the show. Oh! That's what I'm hearing. George and I both suck, but she's getting so good, she's getting the show. The Israeli broad. Here's a mobile in Perrine. Hello.
Yes, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Actually, I don't want to seem redundant, but I actually want to thank George for having probably one of the best shows I did hear on Friday.
Oh, my God. I'm going to have to listen to the tape of it. It must have been spectacular.
Neil, it was an excellent show. I appreciate the fact, first of all, I found that it was the most objective, balanced portrayal of what's going on in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict that I've ever heard in the media overall.
Yeah.
And I think that George actually did a good job. I disagreed with some of his points. I disagreed with some points that the guest had, but overall it was much more balanced than you're going to get in any other major media.
Well, it's very obvious to me. In fact, I've lined up George Miller from the Dolphins Cove Health Food Store. He's going to be my guest tomorrow. We're going to be
one thing I want you to realize, while he
was
was on the air, George did call you a professional Jew.
Yeah.
Well, caller did, and I agreed.
Yeah.
He did agree. But George did a good job, even though I disagree with a lot of his points. And
well, a professional Cuban would know.
But in terms of your opinion about George W. Bush, I think the man is pretty much an idiot, and I think that, unfortunately there's a good chance he may become president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, what is the significant difference between the platform of both of these parties? I personally understand that their agenda is much different, but they seem to be presenting themselves more and more and more in a similar fashion, which I find even more dangerous than George W. Bush individually. I just want to know what your thoughts are.
Well,
about
it depends on, how long you want to stay in summer camp for and how many showers you want to take, I guess.
What exactly do you mean by that, Neil?
Look it up. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. 258 votes on our poll. Lack of responsibility, 139. Lack of education and job skills, 97. Bigotry, only 22. So lift yourself up by your bootstraps and stop wasting your time with this no-count Louis Farrakhan son of a bitch, who's even more anti-Semitic than George. Well, here's Pembroke Pines. Hello. Hello?
Hello?
Yes? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. See, I bet you the Israeli broad didn't get a call like that. Oh! Yeah. All you idiots out there. Oh, we're going to bring the guests back again. Yeah, great. I'm delighted George did a spectacular show. In fact, like I said, I won't be here tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, the weather is starting to turn a little cold over there across the pond. I better take advantage of the last month or so. And then after that, it'll be vacation time. Yeah. I could use a few weeks off until vacation time. and then go on vacation.
I got to rest up for you.
What I do best. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yeah, I have a suggestion to fix up the whole election system.
Yes?
You should have a none of the above candidate.
Uh-huh.
Look like Miss America.
Uh-huh.
You know, if you know.
Here's Boca. Hello.
Yeah, Neil?
Yes, sir.
Why is it that you don't like women? What's wrong with you?
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's Davey. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Okay.
I got a question. Since we heard the Alonzo Mourning...
That must have been a football guy. What is it?
That? Since we heard the Alonzo Mourning press conference, does that mean we're going to have to hear the press conference when the Backstreet Boys get sick?
Yeah. Yeah, Nick Carter's in fat rehab. We're going to be having that at 1:45.
Would you play that press conference just out of curiosity?
No, I don't think so. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Probably be a lot more interesting, though, than that one where we heard the doctor's qualifications and how he ate at the Pickle Barrel in Toronto and he had the stuffed kishki and all the other whatever he had. Stuffed Durma. I mean, that was pretty scintillating radio. Hearing that doctor's qualifications and everybody that he ever had to dinner and every place he ever went to shul and all the other crap and which hand he wiped with. That was scintillating, man. I'm still foaming at the mouth from that. Here's Pompano Beach. Hello. North Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
I would just want to say regarding the polls and how he's doing very good, George W. Bush. There's two comments. First of all, regarding the tax cut that he's providing.
Yes.
I mean, he's not just the idiot. I mean, the idiot is those people from the middle class. They even see it obviously and look at you. You're probably doing very good and you will do better under George W. Bush tax cut. And you are fighting against him for those people that the middle class, that they don't understand what's going on, and they're voting for him.
Yeah.
And the second thing, the foreign country policy.
60 cents a day, baby. It's right in Paul Begala's book. Middle class are going to save 60 cents a day.
Exactly. And the second thing is the foreign policy. When you look at the Republican Party, how they trying to really protect George W. for him being the president, are we all really voting for president, or we're voting for Dick Cheney or Colin Powell or his advisor?
Yeah,
What's this country's about?
Yeah.
It's for one person he's going to be really leading this country and making the right decision, not Dick Cheney and Colin Powell. That's what I would like to say, Neil.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't think George knows Dick. 27 after 1 at 560 WQAM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
I think it's hard to think.
It's NFL season again. You've got your remote, your beer, your nachos, but have you got your dictionary? Now that Dennis Miller's joined Monday Night Football, you're going to need a dictionary just to understand what the hell he's talking about.
You know, Kurt Warner has such a jingoistic strategy on the field. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't instigate a pre-conflict coup d'etat. Cha-cha-cha.
For only $19.95, this quick reference book will help you look up over 50,000 words Dennis may use during the telecast.
Terrell Buckley was certainly pell-mell there. I mean, before you know it, he's going to start babbling some polytheism dribble via a Sonatus Consultum.
Don't spend another Monday night scratching your head. Get your copy of the Dennis Miller Dictionary. Call 1-800-DENNIS-SPEAKS. That's 1-800-DENNIS-SPEAKS.
What's the problem with Randy Moss today? He couldn't catch acute malaria if he consumed sun-dried mosquito bruschetta in a quarantined Panamanian hemophiliac triage unit.
Call now. Operators are maintaining a stationary position of anticipation.
Yeah, baby. Do it again.
132 at 560. Don't forget to press that special, what is it, the SAP button on your remote, and it automatically filters out Dennis Miller's voice on Monday Night Football tonight. So George just confessed to me during the break. That broad on Friday she was from Israel like my dog is from Tibet, okay? So you draw your own conclusions from there. Not that you've been had again, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
I made sure she spoke Israeli.
5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. She was...
Are you sure?
Positive.
Hebrew.
Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
How you doing there?
She worked at the deli up the street. Yes, sir.
All right, I got two things. I want to find out, well, I ain't going to say I find out, I'm going to realize when everybody realizes that the president stuff is a joke.
Yeah, okay. Whatever you be saying. Here's a mobile in Miami Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm calling in response. You said earlier that football was a gay sport.
Absolutely. Faggy sport.
No. What do you mean?
I just got through explaining it. You heard every word I said. Which word didn't you understand? Was it the crotch, the ass, the bending down on your hands and knees? Which part didn't you understand?
Oh, come on. You can't say that's a gay sport. It's a man's sport. They're
It's a
hitting
fag
each other,
sport.
running down the field.
It's a faggy
It's a
sport.
physical sport just like hockey.
Sir, let me say it to you. No, in hockey they don't get down on their hands and knees and have somebody put their hands under their legs.
What about
That's not what they
clutching and
do.
grabbing?
What is it?
What about clutch and grab?
Yeah, with their stick. They beat the crap out of each other and they got their teeth flying out. That's a man sport.
I never said it was a
They don't grab each other around the crotch and tackle each other and roll around on the ground like they do in football. It's a fag sport, you know that.
No, it's not, Neil.
Faggy.
Come on.
Fag sport.
No, you're the fag.
So you ought to know.
Yeah, that's right. Takes one to know one, pal. Yeah. Yeah, I wish I could be more macho like that Schwarzer on Steelers. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't like those rumors? 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. I mean, I realize that this is a blow to a lot of you guys out there, most of you, with that football, especially here in Florida. That's all you know from. And that's fine. If you like a faggy sport, it's great. Guys with tight pants, like even Defoe. Remember that promo he did about guys in tight pants rolling around in the mud? It's a fag thing. Guy, just think of that center. He gets down there on his knees, crouches, and the other guy comes right up behind his
rectum,
ass, sticks his hands under his ass. I'm sorry, but right there at that point, that's where you draw the line. If you have any feeling of masculinity, at that point it has to vanish, because no real man gets down on his knees and lets another guy come up and put his hands under his ass. That's the bottom line. I mean, you don't even have to go beyond that. Then after that he starts grabbing his ball. I mean, forget about that. And counting. He's counting. Ho, 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 69, 69, all this other crap. You're not kidding me. You're not fooling anybody. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Yeah, hey, Neil, I was wondering if...
Not to mention all the showers they take together. What is it, sir?
Yeah, Neil, I was wondering if you weren't making $2 million a year, if you wouldn't be a little bit more excited about the Bush tax cut, seeing that you can afford it no matter which way it goes.
Uh-huh. No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No. 567, he didn't think so.
That made no sense whatsoever.
I know it. And that was what was beautiful about it. The Bush tax cut doesn't make any sense. No matter how it makes 60 cents a day if you're like middle class. And if you're in lower class, it doesn't mean any cents. No, I take that back. 11 cents a day. It's all documented right here in Paul Begala's book. But you can get all bent out of shape and start attacking me. And the fact of it doesn't change anything. The fact is your candidate's a moron. He's a jackass. He's just a pawn of the ultra-rich, of the big oil companies like he was in Texas, of all the Texas billionaires. That's what he is. He's a puppet. The tobacco companies, you name it. The biggest polluters and rapists in our society. And if you want to be in bed with them, go right ahead. Have a good time. Here's Sunrise. Hello.
Neil, two things real quick.
Yes, sir?
I'm not in favor of tax cuts for the rich and status quo for the middle class and lower class. And my second point...
What was the last part?
I don't know about the last
part. Oh, I didn't hear it.
In other words, you don't care about Alonzo because he's not a hockey player.
Yeah.
You'd be more sensitive if Pavel...
And if Pavel Bure was having a press conference, would I want that on here? No. No. I'm not into press conferences from athletes. And Pavel Bure does have a pulled groin, which I think this guy that just called is probably pulling his right now. But we're not putting on a press conference about it. This isn't a sports show. See, I hate to break the news to you. Yeah, I do love hockey, and I try to promote it, and I talk about 10 seconds a day about it, and that's the limit, believe me, because there's no interest here anyway. We don't carry press conferences. Now, the one exception we made, or maybe there was two, I think, was the day, remember Jimmy was supposed to be retiring, and Hank got the scoop on that and called me from Vegas? And we beat everybody in town, thanks to Hank, and the information that he wasn't quitting. And the other one was Danny Boy retiring that day. Which he called me and said, would you mind if I did it during your show? I said, no, I'd be honored, Dan. And he said, fine. And that was the end of that. That's the only 2 times in 3 years that we carried press conferences legitimately because it was that major of a story. We didn't need to have a press conference to get the information since the story's been out for 2 weeks now and all the speculation, most of it which was absolutely wrong. We didn't need to carry a press conference where we had to find out the name of every broad that the doctor who's treating him ever dated in his life and which ones put out and which ones didn't. Now, you're wrong, Neil. You're absolutely wrong. You just don't want to be one of the boys. Where the hell is this copy here already? What is all this stuff in here? Jesus, God almighty. Peter Leonard again strikes. God, this man makes me ill.
That is the biggest pile of horse crap I have ever seen in my frickin' frackin' life.
Balls, football, soccer balls, basketball.
Do you like to play with balls? Yeah! Your balls feel a little flat sometimes? Yeah! Do you want to play with good quality balls? Yeah! Then there's only one place for you. Bill's Balls! Yes, Bill's Balls, the home of the best balls in town.
I saw Bill's Balls from the highway, and I just had to stop in. And boy, was I satisfied.
I was so impressed with Bill's Balls, I took my whole family to see him. Balls,
And I stopped by Bill's Balls yesterday, and I played with Bill's Balls right there on the spot.
Yes, all that we ask is that you come and see Bill's Balls once. Once you've seen Bill's Balls, you'll never look at balls the same way again. Now, 2 great locations, Quail Springs and Penn Square Mall.
Okay, it's 144 at 560 QAM. Xerox, 8 1/4, $8.25. What do you got to say for that, Rimmer? Yeah, 8 1/4. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless lines. Here's a mobile with Mike. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there's yet another minority moving into South Florida. Last week I went to 12 different stores making my deliveries, and wouldn't you know it, that in all 12 stores, at some point, a group of wetbacks would walk in, all sweaty and sunburned from working outdoors.
A group of what?
All sweaty and sunburned from working outdoors.
Dealers, he's talking about Mexicans.
Oh, Mexicans, yeah.
That's nothing new. They're working the field.
Yeah, well, if it's good enough for George P. Bush or whatever his name is, it's good enough for us.
They cycle through.
How's George P. doing? Is he still driving around in that broad driveway, around in circles?
Without a shirt?
Yeah. I vote for him. Here's Miami. Hello. P. Miami.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Listen, this may be a very simple concept, but I can solve the Middle East crisis in one shot.
Okay, well, good. Go tell him. I'm not interested. Call up George tomorrow. He'll be talking about the Middle East again. He's got a 45-part. He's got some Arab broad that's going to come in here with some schmata on, with her Husad Shako, and she's going to be giving the other side, the Palestinian point of view. So we're going to have like a 75,000-part series on this. If you loved Alien, you'll love this. The Arabs and the Yidlach starts tomorrow with George Rodriguez. Right here, 10 to 2 on 560 QAM. I'll be out of town. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Yes, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I have 2 comments.
What kind of a phone is this?
Oh, why?
Are you paying for this phone? For this?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Whenever I have to go to a conference, when a doctor is speaking, they do the same thing. They have to tell everything, where he went to school, the whole 9 yards.
Who the hell cares?
I know, but it's I don't know why they do it all the time. And number 2, before I leave, it's
yes, sir.
All the even in football, all the names are even funny, like tight end and wide receiver. So
Yeah, tight end. How do you like that?
I know you have to be blind not to see it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the truth hurts.
And don't forget those cozy showers together after the game. Those long, hot, steamy showers. Hang in there, pal. Get a new phone. That phone was bad. Good guy, bad phone. The Nasdaq's only down 19. The Dow's up 64, but Xerox is 8 1/4. Yeah. Well, my brother-in-law heard a tip from some Arab oil baron who was on a goddamn bus somewhere in Topeka. Yeah. Coxel Rimmer. 5670560, pound 560 on it. And you too, Mitch Hirsch. Oh, well, I sold mine a long time ago. Yeah, thanks for telling us, Mitch. Not. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
While I'm not agreeing with you,
I did play football for about 8 years, and that's one thing, that hands under the center's ass, I just couldn't get used to that.
Uh-huh.
They wanted me to play quarterback. I gave it a shot, and I was like, no way.
Well,
And,
it's a good thing they didn't ask you to play center.
that might even be worse. I don't know.
It might even be worse. Yeah.
I don't know. Listen to this show. I think I might be turning gay. I don't know.
I hear that most quarterbacks are balls on guys is what I'm hearing.
You think?
That's what I think.
Well, just keep me out of that locker room. I don't really want to know personally.
Okay, say hi to Cordell. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. See, we're finally bringing these guys out. Straight guys don't play football, except Dan Marino, maybe a couple of other guys. Now, Jason Taylor, he's got that calendar, you know.
Well, Mandich and Beaucamper, we know that they're straight arrows.
But Joe Rose still goes over and showers with Danny on the weekends when Danny's wife's out of town. Not too sure about the little dog. At least that's what Danny calls it, the little dog. Here's Pompano Beach. Hello.
Oh, one guy already took something I was going to say about the...
he stole your thunder?
The tight end and the wide receiver.
Yeah, how do you like that?
There is one place, though. Guy goes in motion, and he stops when he gets in the slot.
Uh-huh.
Okay. My contribution for the...
Oh, okay, thank you. That was George W. calling in. Prepping for tomorrow's big debate. What are you looking at me for like that? I'm just letting them all out of my system. It's 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil?
Yes?
There's no fags on the gridiron.
Uh-huh. Here's a lady in Boca. Hello. Lady in Boca.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, please don't put George on tomorrow.
Why not?
I hate George.
Well, but he did, regardless of what he hit him, he did a great show here on
But
Friday.
he had that Palestinian Ilsa Koch on. She was terrible.
Elsa Crotch?
Ilsa Koch.
Ed Koch? What are you talking about? I thought he had an Israeli on.
Oh, she wasn't an Israeli. She was a pretend Israeli.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that she was spurious, to say the least.
She was spurious?
Yes.
I thought he was with the Gators, spurious. 5-6, or maybe he used to play for the Leafs, spurious Selman. 5670560, pound 5, we could use them, pound 560 on the AT&T and Verizon wireless line. See, one of the things that I love about this show is I know that 95% of the time, the things that I'm saying not only go over the heads of most of the people out there, but around them, behind them, and maybe even up there. And they don't even know it. That's what I love. 10 till 2 at 560 WQA.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Suck it in and hold it.
And now, on the campaign trail with George W. Bush. Today, America's candidate addresses the unionized workers at South Carolina's Turbine Town Factory.
Great to be here in Nevada. South Carolina, Nevada. I want to be your president because I can relate to the ignorant blue-collar worker. Don't say that. The ignorant worker all over the world.
Hey, Bush, what do you know about working?
Never have worked a day my entire life. Hands smooth, silky, palm olive, you're soaking in it. Let's go to the next question.
Yo, man!
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, you gonna legalize marijuana?
Good question. Important. Substantive. Marijuana legalization? No. Absolutely not. Cocaine? Yes. PCP? Heroin? Probably. Barbiturates? Amphetamines? Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Now you?
What are you gonna do for the black man?
Thanks for asking. First thing I'd like to do, see me one up close. Not too close, no touching. Perhaps maybe get a what-what. Can I get a what-what?
George W. Bush, thank you very much. We gotta go.
Can I get a what?
We gotta go. On the campaign trail with George W. Bush.
156 at 560 WQAM. Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How are you doing?
Okay.
This is the second time I've called in
10 years. In fact, actually, I met you many years ago when you were doing serious topics at INZ.
Well, that's coming back.
That's going back for sure.
Chiropractors, doctors, nutritionists, world experts, political analysts. That's coming back.
Anyway, I wanted to ask you your opinion. I'm thinking about getting a dish. Do you have an opinion on whether Dish Network's better than DSS, is better than anything else?
But if you're a sports fan, you don't want Dish TV.
Really?
They don't have the packages. If you're a sports fan, you want DirecTV. If you're not a sports fan, Dish TV is great.
What would you say if you like sports, but you want all the other channels? Would you say DirecTV would get a good?
Yes.
Yeah, so Direct would be the better one.
That's what I got.
Okay, sir. I'm very glad you said that.
Okay, do it.
Thanks so much. Have a good one.
You'll love it. Okay. Yeah, anybody out there without a dish, get 2 sets. That's what George says. All his Jewish friends, they got 2 sets of dishes. One to throw at the Arabs and one to throw at the Cubans. Here's the mobile in Hialeah. Hello.
Hey, Neil, what's up?
How you doing?
Right. Hey, I used to play center, and I'm gay.
Well, who knew that?
Yeah, exactly. Get off your knees, sweetheart. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T. Oh, he's just practicing for the big game this weekend? Here's the mobile in Boynton Beach. Hello.
Ever notice when a defensive lineman sees the ball between the legs, he gets up to the quarterback sack?
Yeah. That's what that means, quarterback sack. Excellent.
Swing him. Later.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, it's another quarterback sack right there. I bet you Joe Costello can relate to that. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT. We had only 2 minutes to kill here, and 2 calls ain't going to cut it. Not with these calls. Mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, Neil, what's up?
How you doing, sir?
I got to respectfully disagree with you. I don't think football is the gayest sport.